What's going on, everyone? Welcome to yet another Warski Live. How you all doing? Thank you for swinging on by. We could cut our usual co-host here, JF. What's up, man?
Hello, I'm doing good.
Good, good. We got a Styx. How you doing, man?
Pretty well, thank you.
Yeah, man. Hey, I've been watching you for a while, so it's awesome to have you on the show.
By the way, it's great.
Yeah. I was actually just real fast. I was like, it was so surreal last week when I was on your show with you, Razor, and fucking Medicare. I'm like, why am I fucking here? This is fucked, man. So that was really cool. And Dr. Layman, what's up, bud?
Hey, I like how Andy is pretending as he wasn't reading Mein Kampf for the last 14 minutes out loud in private. I got it all recorded. I'm going to leak it.
No, get out of here, Layman.
It's going to be nasty.
Oh, I love how Dr. Layman's always sounds like he's in perpetual, like, about to laugh mode. He's always like, hey, guys, fuck.
His voice is very special.
I am 1000%
like
serious.
A leprechaun who's about to come to tickle you. Every time he speaks, it's like there's a little leprechaun running after me, trying to tickle my legs.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to tickle a whole lot more than just your legs, Jeff.
Oh shit. So actually some news came out yesterday. People were actually DMing me. When I was on your show last week, Styx, we were talking about basically Kilroy, and you were gonna go and talk, you want to, see your fans or your viewers rather, and do that stuff. And then something happened between then and yesterday where you actually pulled out yesterday.
Yeah. I realized at this point there's too much drama associated with it. Too many of my subscribers don't intend to actually show up. And too many of the people that I actually wanted to see, they're not attending either. Like, I got excited for it because I'm like, oh, Lauren Southern will be there, Sargon will be there, all these, different people. And basically all of them have pulled out for the most part. There are a couple of people there that I still really, really admire and I know of their work. One of which isn't even listed as a speaker yet, but I know is for sure attending. Like, I've spoken with them. So it's not like the Kilroy event is a complete dead duck so much as, hey, most of the speakers I wanted to see are gone. Most of the subs that were going to attend are gone. It's really become toxic to me. And I may not have a problem with any of the particular individuals. Like people were talking earlier when I posted my video on it and why I pulled out. They were like, well, why aren't you attacking them? It's a scam and stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to sit there and shit on an event in which several people, I know that they're attending. They've either signed off or probably will, that I admire. They intend to actually attend the conference because they're not organizers. They're not involved with the money side of it. They're simply speaking. I'm not going to sit there and rain on their parade. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to get involved with that sort of thing.
Fair enough. I may or may have not been shitting on the event, but actually, just so everyone knows, from what I've done, I won't be on this topic for too much longer. However, a lot of people were upset with me. Friends of mine, when I was bringing out all the evidence, were calling me out. Or talking behind my back on DMs and shit, like, what the fuck's Andy doing, when I was revealing all my concerns throughout this whole thing. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I'm a friend of Roaming Millennial, for example, and I still want to meet her there and stuff, and we're still cool and everything. So I just made sure that was all good. But I got DM'd a bunch by people saying that you weren't going, and now you'll join me on that pub crawl?
Yeah, there's a good chance that I'll still be going to Phoenix at the same time. It's just, instead of attending Kilroy, it's like I have no problem with anyone who's like speaking there. It's just I don't do the academic or the professional speaker thing. So yeah, I'll probably go and get wasted and eat burgers and go swimming and stuff like that. So it'll be pretty good.
It's fucking awesome. Awesome.
You seem to be, it's very kind of you the way you treat that event, and I think it's very professional of you. It's like you don't trash an event after leaving it, and I respect that.
Yeah.
But don't you think that there is something that goes unsaid here, which is that this event fails at representing a large, broad view of problems related to free speech?
Yeah, well, part of that's a paradox. The paradox is, of course, if you have total free speech and some group comes on board that's being cast as a pariah or a leper by the lame stream, you get attacked. And if you don't let them on board, then you get attacked by that group. So it's sort of a doomed if you do, doomed if you don't situation. And I can understand that, but like the stuff over the finances or you know, Based Mama said something about IQ sort of thing. That's all aside for me because I'm not really involved with that. I just wanted to go and talk to my fans and say, hey, I support alt tech and the alt media. But I can say that on YouTube too. I could host my own event if I wanted to and say the same thing, and it wouldn't really make any difference. The reason why I supported Kilroy is I saw the list of people that were aboard was massive. I said, if this many people, if even a quarter of these people stay aboard with this, it's going to be the most monumental thing you can think of. It'll be almost a paradigm change in and of itself. Obviously, that isn't going to happen. But I still hope that the event goes off well. My hope, and I think the hope of others should be, hey, it's not a scam. It's not, there's nothing specifically wrong with it. It's just a case of there were too many kinks in it early on. A lot of people jumped off board. Hopefully they restabilize. That's my hope anyway. I could be totally wrong, but that's, I mean, I'm not going to sit here being pessimistic about it.
Fair enough. Yeah. Actually, some news came out today. A few people DM'd me when I was talking to Based Mama and Sister Danger and the rest of them on some Black Guy's channel. The one thing was, you know, all refunds are open and everything. And a bunch of viewers of mine and other people's viewers were emailing me or DMing me. Based Mama has closed refunds as of today. It won't let you anymore. It just says like people were showing the screenshot of it saying, yeah, you can't refund. Refunds have been closed. So now you have to dispute it with PayPal itself. So that's I guess they're losing a lot of money from refunds. Therefore, she just closed it off.
Would it be after 30 days, right? Because then you would on PayPal's end, I think you'd have to dispute it at that point.
Yeah, no, I think
that may not even be
their
choice.
No, it's like 30 days to dispute with actually PayPal now at this point. I don't know, like it's a little bit sketchy, but yeah, I see your point of view. You want to be more optimistic with it. That's totally cool. I can't, smash that idea or anything. Yeah, Dr. Layman, what do you think from everything that you've seen?
That's a pretty broad question. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, I've been kind of vocal about Kilroy ever since Dave Collin made his call for donations for it. I was unhappy with the management. I was unhappy with the setup. I was unhappy with the list of speakers. I was unhappy with basically everything there is to be unhappy about.
Wait, what? I was on the list of speakers. Why are you unhappy about that?
Oh, come on. Okay.
Shade?
My unhappiness with the list of speakers was focused on a few individuals that I'm not gonna further elaborate on here.
Okay, fair enough. All right, that's cool.
It was like, I mean, it was kind of, it always had this taste of an echo chamber to me. It was always like, we're going to be a free speech conference, but, let's just grab a bunch of YouTube celebrities and skeptics from this sort of niche of YouTube and just not try to get any proper leftists, let's not try to get anyone that would, potentially not fit this sort of, I don't even know how to call the political alignment, like this sort of alt-light or whatever.
Mm-hmm. You mean like, yeah, the alt-light, so what, like Lauren Southern, I guess, and those guys?
It wasn't even the alt-light, it was the center and the left. And as people were getting disconnected, as people were leaving Kilroy, it became more and more leftist.
Yeah. So yeah, everything's a little bit fucked with that. But I hope everyone who swings by there still, that will have an awesome time. I have some friends who are swinging by as well and are pumped to meet you, Styx. By the way, Styx, my dad's a huge fan of yours, and he's watching right now. He's like, how are you having Styx on? What the fuck? He's been watching you for years now, so he's fucking pumped, and so that's cool too. But yeah, I hope you all have fun there. And JF wanted me to actually bring something up when we started this. JF, do you wanna explain what you said to me before? Yeah, sure.
So if anyone has ever heard what I said about Styx, I regret it. I don't know if Styx heard it. It's been sampled out there, and in the past I've said that Styx was both ugly and stupid. It was based on reviewing his video about the Kathy Griffin case, which I found not compelling, but now I've seen more of him. And of course, I've watched him also in HD 180p, and I conclude that he's not ugly. I withdraw my earlier statement about Styx. He is a beautiful, magnificent man, especially when he exposes his chest.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of times people judge my content based on like they've seen 1 or 2 videos. Someone posted it on some site they happen to frequent, and so they get a totally warped perspective of what I'm about. They think, oh, this dude's so far right, or he's so far left, or he's like alt-right, or he's a Nazi sympathizer. It's like, no, I'm just sort of me. I'm gonna cover things the way that I see them, basically.
Styx, I'm not gonna lie, but I haven't actually seen a single one of your videos. The only stuff I've seen from you is comparisons of you side by side to Rage After Storm. And let me ask you this on stream. Are you or are you not the long-lost brother of Rage After Storm?
Not that I know of. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that was funny. What Medicare did in the second video. That was a good one. Yeah, fuck. All right, cool. So, Jeff, you cleared the air with that one. Actually, now that we've spoken about that, the whole freedom of speech angle is what we're going to be talking about. Actually, it's really funny. After our show, actually a few days ago, JF, we were talking with Destiny, who was more on the left. We were talking with Tara McCarthy showed up, who's obviously way on the right. Really pissed off. A lot of people were just like, "Holy shit, this is crazy." A lot of people who are my friends, or I thought were my friends, were like behind my back, like, "Holy shit, Andy's changed." Almost like this wrong think, this "Holy shit, Andy, sorry, man." Like banishing me from the community. Basically, I actually spoke with Bunty yesterday for 3.5 hours, and he was sort of on the camp as well. He admitted to me that he was, DMing and texting people like, "What's wrong with Andy?" Blah blah blah. And when I explained everything in 3.5, it took 3.5 hours. Yeah, I was up till 10 a.m. I didn't sleep till 10:30 a.m. We talked from like 6, 7 in the morning onwards. And finally, he has opened his mind and his eyes. He tweeted about it when I pretty much explained everything with what we're trying to do here, which is actual freedom of speech, because people were mad that I had Tara on and didn't ban her immediately. But she has her right to speak. JF, what do you think about people's reaction to our last show?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. It resembles the case of Lacey Green, in my view, but the reaction of the people are different, and you're not getting Chris Ray Gunn's dick inside of you.
Well,
so
we don't know
as far
that.
as
We don't know that.
Okay, I assumed something here I shouldn't have. Yeah, so as far as freedom of speech goes, I think you're on a path, and you said it well last time. You said this is what Kilroy should have been. And so today my question to people who are with us, Dr. Layman and Styx, is if we were to rethink Kilroy and forget about the practicality and forget about the fact that it's going to be hard to repair Kilroy at this point, but what would be a good free speech event in your view? What should it encompass?
In my view, it would be totally laissez-faire, and it wouldn't really have any rules as far as speaking. It could roll over into additional fundraising for an extra day, basically take it easy, but just tell people ahead of time that that's going to be the way it is. Either that or make it much more regimented, I think. Really, I think most of Kilroy's problems can be explained by simply people that hadn't done a conference, attempted to do a conference that at first it was like, oh, it'll be a few people, a few dozen people. And then it got massive. And so when there wasn't any room anymore, I think the default was, hey, kick the fringe off first, maybe. And I could be totally wrong here, but, and, you know, I have my own opinions with regards to maybe the further right. I've spoken with like Red Ice, McCarthy and stuff, and I have no problem with that. But as I said before, you know, when I was addressing this, it can become a lightning rod for Antifa, among other groups. It can cause violence. And I think the natural inclination was, hey, you know, these other people that maybe they're less edgy, they're more normal, so-called, we'll keep them aboard and maybe, you know, nudge others aside. But I can't speak to that myself.
Personally, I think that, like, this concept of a free speech.
Who would you be interested in seeing? Go ahead. Sorry, I think the internet's lagging a little bit. My bad. Go ahead, Layman.
Oh, right. I think I'm still kind of confused with this concept of a free speech conference, because maybe it's like an American thing, but it's like, if I were to go to Based Mama and be like, hey, Based Mama, I would like to hold a panel on, say, some really weird, obscure physical theory, I don't think that I would be a good fit. It would still be celebrating free speech, but it's not really a good fit. So it's like, why would you have a free speech conference where everything goes? I mean, it would immediately kind of devolve into completely incoherent chaos, in my opinion. If you say, hey, we want to have a political free speech convention, okay, I can get behind that. But a full-on proper free speech convention, it could be an interesting experience, an interesting social experiment, but I don't think it would be very, very constructive, if you know what I mean.
But Layman, do you acknowledge the fact that right-wing speaker, let's say white nationalists, face free speech problems that are different from Jeff Holiday and his Black Dildo YouTube series?
Right, without passing any judgment on Jeff, I would assume so, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, what I mean by that is that free speech is a problem for many people, but it's a different problem. And free speech can be a problem for people who get strawmanned, for people who get misrepresented, for people who get falsely accused of stuff, for people who get censored by government in some countries, for people who are experiencing issues within religious families.
I'm sorry, I just want to ask the audience: is it lagging for all of you, or is it just for me? Just let me know. Okay.
Andy, you are lagging particularly because when the other guys are speaking, they don't lag as much as you.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
And now we're losing you.
I think, yeah, the fucking thing and plug it back in. I don't know. It does that sometimes. My bad. But all right, the audience is fine then. The audience is fine. That's cool. I'll try and keep up. That's cool. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. So where was I? Oh yeah. So the people of different ideologies face different problem with respect to free speech. And my view is, if you make a conference on free speech, you should have a large enough sample to understand the diversity of problems that are faced in modern society concerning free speech.
Yeah. I'll actually stay on this just because it probably will lag a lot less. Yeah, I agree with JF on that because the thing is, when people are promoting, you know, free speech constantly, like I understand that there's the fringe groups, right? Styx, what you're saying, and then there is, of course, the, you know, possibility of, you know, safety concern for absolutely everyone. But in my opinion, what it should have been, like Kilroy, what it should have been called is not a free speech conference. It should have just been a conference, a video conference, just like VidCon. So, because I think it misrepresented what it was originally in the first place. And I agree though with you, Styx, on the dangers of, because I know Richard Spencer, he wanted to swing by, and Based Mama denied that. Because, you know, security for Richard Spencer would have been crazy expensive. So yeah, we are running into the problem where we want the free speech, but we also want safety for everyone, you know?
Yeah, it becomes such a paradox that it's impossible to solve, and it's impossible to please everyone. I just think that if it had been better organized, ultimately, if it had been more ironclad who was going to show up, what are the arrangements for everything, I think it would have gone off a lot better, and that would have been at a minimum. But I don't chalk necessarily all of that up to malice. And by the way, this is a good time to mention this. Congratulations, I guess, to Richard Spencer for being a finalist for Texan of the Year, because that was big in the Dallas Observer earlier, and they were like having a nervous breakdown over it, actually. It was funny.
Wait. There's actually legit?
It's actually legit. He's apparently a finalist based on, I guess, voting or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Spencer, you magnificent bastard.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I'll be reporting on that tomorrow because it's insane. The fallout from that is going to be, I mean, you don't have to be on the alt-right to appreciate how many people will be melting down, I guess, over that.
Yo, that's intense. Actually, it's really funny. I got a lot of emails from people who want to be on the show in the future from like teachers, academics, please respond, robotic engineers, Christians who want to do debates with atheists, JF. I'll go over the list with a lot of these people. A lot of the old panelists want to be on the show and have their panels on this show. But the reason I'm bringing this up is I would really like if people on the left, if you're an academic or you're anyone in politics who wants to be on the show, I'd really appreciate if you threw me an email, andyworski@gmail.com. And the reason I bring this up and reason I bring up, people being upset with me in my, skeptic TM camp or whatever, is Richard Spencer contacted me about being on the show next week. And so he wants to be on the show. And I told him I'm going to try and look for someone, who's really against what he believes. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And we'll try and moderate it as best as possible. And if people were mad at me before, I wonder what people are going to be saying now.
They'll say that you're the grand gatekeeper of all Nazism, and they'll totally ignore whoever you have on that opposes his ideas. By the way, that's what'll happen. Right Wing Watch will be putting you on the next Holt article, probably.
I've been facing this problem of finding people on the left to talk to. I'm trying soy milk to attract them right now. I still don't have the trick to get them.
I actually have some insight into this, mostly from private conversations. I happen to have a, say, somewhat okayish, or at least for now, a non-hostile connection to several quote-unquote leftist YouTubers. And there is this weird sort of feeling that seems to be, to a certain degree, mutual, that if people were to go to, for example, a leftist YouTuber were to go on stream with, say, a skeptic, that it wouldn't really be a constructive discussion, but it would quickly devolve into essentially meaningless blood sports, because not two people would be arguing against each other, but two strawmen would be arguing against each other. So it's not necessarily fear or anything, but it's this sort of, there's nothing to gain from this attitude that seems to be, at least to a certain degree, prevalent in the leftist YouTube sphere.
So, Dr. Layman, during the whole crowd thing, the whole interaction between me and crowd for the last 4 months, were you taking sides? Were you looking at this? I don't know if you've expressed any position on the matter yet.
I only really looked into it in the very late stages. The problem is that this is somewhat of a personal issue for me. All I can say is that I've had to I had to cut a few ties. I had to rethink my approach to social media. I'm unhappy with how the whole thing went. Not only with what "quote unquote" crowd did, but also with certain elements of the backlash. Because right now, the entire thing is being painted as like literally the worst thing that's ever happened on the internet, and I think that is quite the overstatement. And there's a lot of like heat and hatred surrounding it. And I think it may be a bit overplayed. Now, I'm not saying it's all completely harmless. I'm saying that the hate and the vitriol surrounding it may be a bit overplayed.
And Styx, did you have a take when you saw those events happen and when you saw the fall of Kraut T?
Well, when I saw the fact that there appeared to be a doxing server on 4chan, I was like, whoa, what's this? But again, like with Kilroy, I don't like to delve into that side of stuff that involves people attacking each other because I'm just a content creator, so I don't really have much of an opinion. But from what I can gather, it seems like Kraut done goofed, and I think that's pretty much common knowledge. But I mean, my involvement wouldn't really help one way or the other, I guess.
But as far as the main scientific question went, what is your position on race?
My position on race, well, it exists. I mean, that was considered common sense back when I was a kid, so... I don't consider, I mean, some people seem to think it's racist to suggest that there is such a thing. I'm not understanding it. It's like the concept of like gentrification. If you disagree with that, you're racist. If you disagree that if whites take part in other cultures, they're appropriating. If whites don't take part in other cultures, they're colorblind. What the hell am I supposed to do? I'm not going to sit here feeling sorry for other people and feeling bad about myself for things that happened in some cases a century and a half ago for my whole life. It's just not going to happen. If other people want to live their lives that way, that's fine. It doesn't involve me. I don't get into that drama either because it's basically just a bunch of whiners rambling about a bunch of postmodern bullshit that will be forgotten. In 50 years, I have every reason to believe that everything that they're saying is true will no longer be considered true, especially since it's so divisive. It's so obviously unscientific. It's sort of like the idea of ignoring the XY chromosomes. I'm not really interested in perusing their so-called science, no.
Now, as far as identity goes, removing all possibilities of violence, of course, I'm sure you are against violence against races, but the possibility of identitarianism, of people freely getting together, identifying based on race with no violence and with no aggression of other races, is that something you would reject morally?
No, people should have freedom of association. I think any honest libertarian thinks that if a person wants to be identitarian and keep to their own race for whatever reason, they should be able to do so. Just like if they want to be diverse and they want to be with people who aren't of their race, go ahead. It's not my decision what other people do. So I don't see it really as a moral thing. It's just sort of a thing of hey, if people have liberty, yeah, they should have the right to do that. Absolutely.
Actually, it's oh yeah, and by the way, just two things. Yeah, I'll read super chats in a second. There's some questions out there, and also V, he DM'd me and he says he disagrees with JF completely. Jeff, would you be interested in maybe talking to V?
I mean, I don't want to steal Styx, who is our main guest,
of course,
who the audience wants to hear about, instead of this gypsy guy who no one wants to hear. But if you decide as a host that he should come, bring him.
I mean, here's what we'll do. We'll bring V in, and maybe in about 10 minutes, in between certain things we're talking about, and we'll keep him on for about 10 minutes, and then we'll move on from there.
All right.
All right.
And if you don't like him, just randomly kick him off for no reason.
Absolutely. So Styx is really a libertarian.
Free speech of you. Wow, I can't believe this.
And there you have it. The SJWs start complaining that free speech needs special protection and safe spaces. Dr. Layman,
we should democratize it. I think if we look at chat, like 99% of them, I don't think they want any V. I don't even know who this is, though. Who is this?
Okay, you know what
you're talking about?
You know what I want to say to people who, because there's a lot of people who who've gotten upset that I've brought certain people on to speak, and V is someone, either you love him or you hate him, and I disagreed with V on a lot of shit. However, I like that. I enjoy, not like internet blood. Like, I mean, I like internet blood sports. It's always hilarious. However, I also enjoy the disagreements and the arguments. I don't think I'm not down for circle jerk streams. You know what I mean? That's the number one thing that I want to do. I mean, those are fine too, but when I have an open house type policy, it's nice to have people who disagree. I think it's cool and it's interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Though sometimes it gets out of control. Like, have you ever seen Lauren Southern's stream with the one that was like last month with Nick and Theron and all those guys? Oof, that went out of control. So we're trying to fix that. Like, we're trying to and that, yeah. So yeah, do you want me to bring V in here real quick, and then we'll move on from there after?
Let's do this.
Yeah.
All right.
Now
And-
V is not he's not good at rationality, but he has some great street trash talk. Like him and I can go on for 30 minutes just insulting each other with our accents.
Okay, so I sent them the link here. Here, real quick, let me just pound through some super chats here. Lost Wingman 07, $5. I just checked your channel to see if you were live. I got the notification after clicking off. Ready for some enlightened radical alt-centrism. Bearded Truth, $2. Happy to see Rage is back. Woke Center left $5. Anyone that donated to Kilroy, report based mama to Kilroy to Arizona Authority General for violating truth and advertising laws. Educated infidel, $2. Andy, buy sticks of beer or something. I'll do that. Black D Dragon, what's up, buddy? €5. Did Styx sign a contract because he's on the featured speakers site? No, I think he was removed from the site.
Can I answer that for everyone watching? I did not sign any contract. They put me on there. I don't know. I think something was lost in translation, but I'm assuming that they'll take me back off of there at some point in the next 24 hours or so. Because I don't think that they update it literally live. So it could take a day or something.
Sounds good. Never Chris, $5. Obviously, the most important question for such a lineup is, what is everyone's favorite anime? You guys want to answer that?
The Slayers.
Boku no Pico.
I do not watch anime.
Hellsing for me. I don't watch anime too much, but that's when I watch. That's the only one I really know. A Guardian, what's up, buddy? $5. Andy Base Mama acknowledged what she did was false advertising when she had people's images on her site without getting them contracts first. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone watched that Medicare video. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. And he throws another $5, denying people's refunds who want them due to false advertising. She is appealing herself up to a class action lawsuit. I mean, we'll see what happens on that. Me personally, I'm not down for the whole lawyer thing. I'm not going to be pushing that level. But we'll see what happens. I'll read just two more here. Ocean Redux, $5. Guardian is right. There actually can be illegal ramifications due to the mishandling of this event. But honestly, I think she knew what she was doing. And lastly, for now, Jesse James, $10. Hey, Andy, I know some people that put on major events, concerts, and plays. I want to talk to them about doing something like Kilroy, but with the far left, right, and center. Yeah, throw me an email, dude. AndyWarski@gmail. Oh, and just one more quick, because this is cool. A Barracks X912, $50 Jesus Christ. I admire what you're doing, Andy. Good luck. Thank you very much. Is V in here?
Hey, man.
Yo, V. Yo.
Hello, V.
Hey, guys. Did you say you disagree with me on a lot of points?
Yeah, remember when you were on the
Come
show?
to Kilroy, bitch. I'll fuck you up in the vault.
All right.
Oh, we have a second fight. We have a second fight.
No,
we
no,
have
no, no.
CRP
This is the
versus
third fight.
Jeff
No,
Holiday.
third fight. No,
This is
third
the third
fight.
fight.
It's Mundane Matt and
Oh.
Fox Die and
Oh,
Johnny
God.
Fox. Spoon Clank. Yeah, V, I got a lot of people messaging me like, why do you put V on? You know, he angers me. He's just trying to stir the pot for no reason. Do you want to answer that before we start explaining?
Yeah,
what
I
you want?
mean, I went on a stream with Millennial Woes as well, and I noticed most of the responses are pure emotional, like nothing of substance actually tackled. It's just like, oh, V is annoying, shut up, shut up, shut up. Doesn't make you really good when you put those arguments forward. They have a lot of pathos and ethos, which is fine, don't get me wrong, but it does make you look bad.
Ooh. Well, but here's the thing is too, and I'll say this right now. I enjoy when you're on the show, and I liked when Destiny's on the show as well. I know people were like, "Why did you bring him on?" But well, I don't have many leftists yet who want to hop on. But but I think he was entertaining, minus, you know, his ad homs constantly to everyone. But yeah. So anyway, what did you disagree with JF on?
Oh, I wanted to ask JF, what do you think about freedom of speech and violent ideologies?
Well, I think that if a violent ideology is enough precise to constitute a plan for aggression, then I think it should be considered criminal.
So, for
But
instance,
I don't think what we call violent ideologies in the SJW circles today is very abusive because it is not violent ideology. The mere fact of stating that you are for white nationalism, for example, for identitarianism for white people currently is called by many on Twitter a violent ideology. So then we fall into the abuse of the semantics there. Saying I like to identify myself as white and I would like to start an ethno-state, that is not a plan for aggression. And so it is not a violent ideology.
for instance, in the case of Islam, if you would have an imam that says, killing gays is out of compassion. It is out of compassion we need to kill. Because if you allow them to live, they can commit more sin and then they reach a lower level of hell. So killing them now means you put an end to their suffering in their afterlife. So you're actually being compassionate. What would you say to a person like that?
Nice snake noise at the end of your sentences. Totally random. Yeah, I mean, I'm on the fence on these cases because I don't advocate for a strict follow-up of these things. I think that a lot of these are not direct threats and they do not lead to action. And somehow, if you want a true space of free speech, you need to be somewhat tolerant of those extremes. I do believe that in some cases, if the imam was involved in ordering people to do actual acts and you would have demonstrated that there was a possibility for action, then I would say that we need to intervene. But I'm really on the fence because you're at the border of the space between free speech and action that are acts of aggression there.
The imam I quoted was actually a real case. He was the imam in Orlando, where 2 weeks after he said that, you had the second mass shooting in America, worst mass shooting, where the Muslim in question said that he saw two gay people kissing on television, which is why he went to the gay bar and killed a lot of people there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough case. I don't know the details of the case you're talking about. I guess that we could say, well, is there evidence that the killer acted on the words of the imam? To what extent was the imam intending that consequence? Those would all be asked in a trial, in a criminal trial.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I am on the side that people should be allowed to speak as much as they can because you are giving them a rope to hang themselves with. Like, for instance, you know, there are violent ideologies. I consider the three main ones to be communism. It's violence towards the wealthy. You then have Islam, which is violence towards the kafir. And you do have the Nazism, which is violence towards anyone that doesn't fit the ethnicity you desire. And, you know, these ideologies might spin it around and say, well, we're going to have the communist revolution without any bloodshed. No one will die. Everyone will just give away their private property. Or we're just going to have this kind genocide where we don't kill anyone. We just convince them to go away.
So I'm surprised to hear you say that communism is violent toward the wealthy. So do you consider that taxation in centrist social democratic society like Canada, France, and Europe in general, do you consider that taxation is violence?
Depends. No, it's not violence. I understand the anarcho-capitalist point of view. I disagree with it because if you don't have a state, then other state will conquer you. And then you will pay taxes for the invader.
Actually, if I could have, I'm just curious, Dr. Layman, you've been quiet for a bit. What's your thoughts on this shit?
Oh, I didn't want to intervene in this cute little couple kissing and making it. That would have been very impolite. I don't know. This is actually one of the big problems that I'm facing as well. Where would you draw the line for free speech in the public space? And I think I would have to join JF on the fence. I'd have to think a bit more about the case.
I think if you want to ban violent ideologies, you either ban all of them or you ban none of them. I don't think it's fair to ban nationalism and allow Islam and communism to flourish.
But wouldn't you say that in the end, almost every political ideology is inherently quote-unquote violent, or can be construed and portrayed to be violent?
Let's take, for instance, I don't know, right-wing, like moderate right-wings in America. How do you see them violent?
Well, I don't exactly know what you mean by moderate right-wing, but if we look at the Bush administration, there was a noteworthy level of military interventionism throughout the world.
Well, that's, I suppose, is the foreign politics of America after 9/11, and you can consider that violent. But comparing it to communism, where they initially state out that if you elect us in power, we're going to have a bloody uprising and we're going to kill millions of people, I think there is a small difference.
There is a big difference in quality, absolutely.
The problem
Christianity, for instance, another one. How would you consider Christianity today to be a violent ideology?
Let Styx just jump in there for a sec.
Sorry.
Yeah, the problem is that banning these ideologies will do absolutely butt-fuck nothing, number one. And number two, most of the deaths post-communism, anyway, I mean, latter-day USSR, it's only communist in name anyway. Recently, over the last, almost half century, for the most part, most of the deaths in the world have been the result of supposedly perfectly normal establishmentarians within Democrat or Republican Party here, totally normal mainstream parties, in other countries. And you've got these same sort of systems in power for an extended period, and nothing's changed. There's still the same amount of death for the most part. It's just that the purges are a little bit less evident because they do it overseas, and they basically, it seems they pay one another to kill each other, like they do with the intel agencies to spy on one another's citizens. What's the point of banning any ideology? Banning it's not going to work. People will still talk about it. They'll still have those beliefs. It's just now you've made them potentially a pariah. That makes them maybe even more violent, I think. I think that what we should have is just public dialogue. The internet's the greatest tool for this. Just have public dialogue among all ideologies, and the hope is that over time, if there's any truth to the concept of cultural evolution, the good ideas, those that don't need excessive force to actually continue, win out in public discourse over time. But not if you have a bunch of interventionism and banning, because what are they going to choose to ban? They're not going to just ban the violent people. As we've seen with any tech firm, they're going to make the choice to primarily ban anyone that's critical of their own beliefs. And their own beliefs are just as bad half the time anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I did say in the beginning that I'm for allowing all the ideologies to speak. I am against when people just nitpick and they say, okay, we're just going to ban nationalism, but we're going to allow far left Antifa guys have over the platform.
Yeah, well, then neither should be banned. Nothing should be banned, because they'll always play favorites. They're hoping to shill off on one side to get them to support their company or their political movement. We see this with wedge issues, here in the United States especially, on race, on sex, on age, on socioeconomic sort of situations, whether a person's poor, sort of middle or working class, or whether they're more wealthy. They're constantly pitting each other against one another. They do this to the alt media. It's exactly what people have warned about. The lamestream loves to do that because it takes fire off of themselves. And as long as they're able to keep doing that by selectively banning or suppressing one thing over another, it'll keep people at odds. So really, it's nothing more than propaganda for the most part. It's never been benevolent. Show me an example in history where a fringe group has been successfully suppressed for benevolent reasons permanently. Show me an example of that, please do.
Yeah, I don't think you can find such an example. I mean, the world is a big place. Probably if you look hard enough, you'll find, but it would definitely be the exception, not the norm.
Yeah,
I do agree with JF, though, that someone who actually would go on a podium and ask for violence right there on the spot, it's like, yeah, we're going to meet in Central Park and we're going to beat the living shit out of it. Then yeah, that would be an incitement to violence and it would be a criminal action.
Yeah, it's incitement, but that's like a criminal act. It's like when the tech firms are going after content. what are they focused on? Offensive content, stuff that's marginally kind of sort of could be violent, kind of construed that way. They don't even care about some nasheed that celebrates, slay this group of people and kill those people. They don't care about religious zealots. They don't care about terrorists if they're on the far left. They haven't even done anything about the actual fringe far right. They're just nailing everybody in the middle who's independent. And I think it's really for fiscal reasons. That's the problem. There's no one specifically that you can trust to suppress or destroy a fringe group, because those groups inevitably, by their own power, then become corrupted.
So
sorry.
Go ahead, V.
It's interesting that you talk about offensive, because I recently made a video where I showed how the Bush administration had their own cultural zeitgeist, where Dungeons and Dragons, Pokemon, music, everything that was considered to be non-Christian was heavily offensive. And you had articles in the media saying this guy shot up a school and he played video games. This guy killed himself and he played Dungeons and Dragons. And it's so similar to what you see today, where it's like Dungeons and Dragons is sexist. Warhammer 40K is sexist. This is homophobic. This is... and this whole idea of let's ban things that are offensive, it's pretty much like the dominant culture wanting to suppress any other culture from rising up.
Yeah, and it won't work because they've tried it before, but, they'll make life difficult for everyone who thinks freely and who isn't into the must censorship bullshit in the meantime. But it goes further, because like the fundamental question that we're talking about, I guess, is banning people who are specifically violent. Well, if someone's saying, hey, go out and kill for me, okay, yeah, you might want to keep an eye on them, if not maybe prosecute them for attempting to incite violence. But if someone's just mouthing off and they're saying off-the-wall stuff and no one takes them seriously because there's free dialogue and other people can refute it, who cares?
Well, here's a great example. Are you familiar with Black Hitler, Gazi Kodo on YouTube?
I've seen the Black Hitler prank calls from the soundboard days, like maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah,
which were hilarious, by the way.
For the people who aren't familiar, it's a black dude. He's got like 50,000 subscribers. He's an African supremacist, and like he has some of the most racist content that I have ever seen on YouTube. Like he calls white people mayo. He doesn't care if black people rise up and kill whites. That kind of ideology. And that's the question. It's like, if you're going to ban white nationalists, are you going to allow people like him to speak?
Yeah. In my opinion, I wouldn't ban him either, because I find it funny. That sort of thing to any sane, rational, normal person calls to violence, and the really over-the-top stuff is just funny anyway. It's like, this person, they're cracked up, like literally like they smoke crack. In his case, maybe he does. Or there's something wrong with them. The average person's never going to get involved with that. It's like when people bring up the specter of the communist revolution, the Nazi takeover, something. A minority of the population was ever involved in actual fighting in any of these things. And I know the old adage as well, if you sit by and do nothing, you're part of the problem. But as long as as long as it's only talk, who cares? People can talk about, they should be able to discuss whatever they want, because there's no specific way to prevent them from doing so that isn't itself more abusive potentially than them simply talking about it, because they're not pledging themselves to violence. But if you ban it, how else are you going to stop them from talking about, I'm a Nazi or I'm a communist? Oh, you're going to beat them over the head. Well, then what does that say about the establishment? They're more violent than the fringe.
Well, that's why I pay tax money to the police.
The problem you've identified earlier is we're faced with censors that are private companies and that are often monopolies. And there are two options on that, where we could say, well, either we're going to just hope that some competitive mechanism in capitalism will allow the emergence of a free YouTube that doesn't ban videos, or we could use the state. Would you argue for an imposition of First Amendment principle to private companies for a law that would force YouTube to accept all speech?
Only if it's constitutional. If it's a declaration of public utilities involving the FCC, temporarily, that's fine. It solves the problem. But then you have a bigger problem, which is, hey, what if the government decides to go further? And you've just set a precedent for them being able to influence those particular companies. I think the problem is censorship on big tech has been accepted by the lamestream. Unfortunately, then, if the government does basically the same thing, there's already a precedent. The public obviously doesn't care too much. The average person, the public, doesn't believe that people who are out there or abnormal should be able to speak. I believe it. Probably you believe it. We have no problem because, individuals who are capable of thinking about such things rationally. The average person gets their consensus of truth from Fox News or CNN. That's the biggest problem, is basically political and social illiteracy among the population. And not to sound elitist or anything, but they actually believe that there's an army of secret Nazis right now plotting to take over the United States. The legacy media is not playing with a full deck here on this one.
I actually thought about this a lot, and I think I came up with the best solution. The biggest weapon of the progressives, and it used to be the Bush administration as well, like the purity justice warriors, if you will, is to get people fired. So basically, they would find out that you work for a certain companies and you had views that they don't like. So they will start calling up your employer until they get you fired. Now, your employer would start being bombarded with a lot of requests to get that person fired, to the point where it's easier for him to just get rid of the guy than to face off the public. So if I would want state intervention, like JF asked, I would think a law where it's illegal to fire people based on political beliefs or things that don't interfere with their jobs, things that they do in their free time would be required. And then if the company gets 1,000 phone calls, it's like, yeah, you need to fire this guy because he's racist, would be like, well, we would love to fire him. However, it's illegal for us to do so. So the company would not be able to get any repercussions from the public. And at the same time, the guy wouldn't be able to be afraid that he's saying something. And you would take away their biggest weapon of terrorizing the public.
Yeah, and the best thing is there's technically a precedent. You see, like when homosexuality, when sexual orientation was added to like the, hey, you can't fire someone just for being gay sort of stuff, it was still considered by the masses, by most people, as being, hey, it's not genetic, it's a choice that they're making. It's just a lifestyle. Well, so is your political ideology. So are all of these other things. Religion. It's the biggest choice that people make. It's not a genetic condition. It's not, you're not born, you can be born into a religion, but it's still cultural. Well, if that's the case, if you can't be fired just for having, being part of a religion, like, hey, he's a Mormon, we're getting rid of him because that's too weird. We don't like his underwear. Yeah, you could do that you could say, hey, this person, they have identitarian beliefs or they're communist or whatever. You can't fire them randomly. Are they doing their job? The only purpose of commerce is strictly capitalism. And the erosion of capitalism is one of the biggest problems we have in the Western world.
Look, I see some people in the chat who just don't believe it. There's this person, Feingold. Did V say George Bush supporters got people fired? LOL. It wasn't the moderate Bush supporter, but there were like the extreme radicals that if they would find out you're an atheist or they would find out you're a gay person or anything like that, they would contact your employer and try to get you fired. And I find it really scary that people forgot history when it happened just a decade ago.
It just real fast here. We'll do another like a minute or two of UV. All right, just because I want to move along here as well. But I'm enjoying this conversation. Want to let everyone know though, my internet is cutting out a little bit, and it's like freezing for a second. That's why I'm not talking as much. I don't want to jump in like during these interruptions. So sorry if that's happening. Anyway.
It's fine, mate. I'm still going to meet you in the ball pit, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm ready. I'm going to start doing push-ups.
There is one last thing that I wanted to say to JF, because this is like one of the reasons that I came on. You asked a question about Kraut. What was it exactly?
My question was generally, did they follow the whole crowd thing? And on the one hand, I asked Styx what is his view on race, on the factual question. And then I jumped to the moral question. So once we've established, and I think most people agree here, and we've just made a video, by the way, on the Marty Buddha channel. You guys should go watch it. It's like 6 minutes, and it tells the whole story of the internet for the last 4 months between me, Kraut, and a dozen other YouTubers, and it's all in 6 minutes. The fact of the existence of race, once we acknowledge this, does Tix, and he responded no to that question, does Tix think that it is wrong to identify based on race without violence and without aggression?
I think I already answered that, didn't I?
Yeah, exactly. So I was explaining to V that was my
Yeah,
question. So
I
V,
wanted
I
to.
guess,
Yeah, I
is
wanted
that
to
where you
answer that.
disagree?
No, I don't think it's wrong to identify as your race. However, I do think that out of all the identities a person can have, like for instance, I'm a doctor, I'm also graduated law school, I'm a gamer. There's a lot of things that I personally do in order to win an achievement, to get where I am. Like I had to study 6 years of med school to get that. So that's why I'm really proud of my identity as a doctor. But I find it bizarre that some people would be proud to be white because they didn't work for it. It's just like, congratulations, you won the lottery. I just don't understand it. I know some people do it. It's just so bizarre. It's like you didn't work for that. You didn't put any single effort in it. It's like when I see a woman going like, "Oh, I'm proud to be a woman." It's like, okay, why?
I mean, it's a good question. I'm not sure that you are justified in adopting this belief. I'm not. I think that the part of why you're a doctor is not just effort. I mean, you were born with some talents, and even if it was the effort, you were born in a condition that allowed you to produce this effort, as opposed to someone else who didn't make the effort. So I guess that I'm more of a determinist in all of this, where to me, credit does not is not needed to justify identity. You
This
can
is
be
the
you can identify to something not because you believe you deserve credit for it, but just because you believe it's the right team to join.
This is the white privilege argument, or at least very similar to it, right? You're white, so therefore, I mean,
No, it
I
is
am.
not.
How is it not?
Well, I'll butt in here for a second. Hope I don't cut out, but uh, there are people who do have that, natural, you'll like they'll focus more in school on certain things, or people are just more creative naturally. Whatever, like for me, for example, school was never my forte. Like it just didn't work out. But with film and editing and all that stuff, it was just natural to me, and I love it. Like, you know what I mean? Whereas some people have that focus and determination to be a doctor or something like that, right? Because for me, for example, I could have never been a doctor. I feel, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel I wouldn't be able to do what you're doing with your editing and the professionalism you display in your radio show. I mean, what I wanted to say about let's say the idea that okay, you're born with very wealthy parents, you have the right genes, or whatever arguments you would have, you still have to focus on the study. You still have to choose to focus on school rather than play video games or go out clubbing or have give away a romantic relationship that can take away time from studying and getting good grades and trying to be better than everyone else.
Oh, I agree, man. Because for me, for
Yeah.
example, I was, I still smoke weed. However, I was way too deep into weed smoking, like morning, afternoon, and night. And then when I just like play games and just fuck around. And then finally, when I was like 25, that's when I was like, no, I have to fucking, I have to actually work at this. And that's when I started actually filming and editing and posting videos all the time and trying to find my niche. You know what I mean? So I understand, but of course there's still that natural, that pull towards a something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think I can understand now, JF, difference between white privilege. I guess white privilege refers to societal privilege. So it's like, yeah, because you're white, you have money, while JF was saying like gene privilege, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
I'm not even sure what you're talking about, dude. Can you define how is it that you make this comparison? Because all I said is that identity can be not about the credit that you believe you deserve. It can be about the team that you believe should be joined. That's one thing. I will add another view of identitarianism. You could argue that you are proud of what your genes have accomplished in the past, and that may be more in line with what you just stated. I could say, hey, I've inherited genes that have been passing through ancestors, millions of my ancestors for the last 100,000 years. Those are the right freaking genes. They've survived everything for the last 100,000 years. I bear them with pride, and I identify as a product of these. And I carry them as part of who I am.
That's being proud of being average, because everyone on Earth today can say the same thing.
Actually, may I hop in for 1 second, then JF, I'll let you finish, because we'll move on from here in a second. I believe harmful opinions is in here. A few people are DMing me, and they want to see internet blood sports between him and V in the future. They want it now, but V, would you be willing? And harmful, if you're watching, would you be willing in meeting in the ring?
In the ball pit with harmful?
In the ball pit, yeah. Sorry, I know my internet sucks right now.
Well, I already have a fight with you coming up, so I don't know how we can do this. Maybe the second day of the event?
Yeah, sure. No, we'll plan this. That'd be good. All right, yeah. So, a Styx from. Okay, I'm sorry, JF. Go ahead.
Just before V leaves, I just wanted to say, V, your entire country is worth my weekly salary.
Yeah, that is. It's what happens when you invite communism and fascism to your nation. It completely destroys the economy.
JF just throws a swing before V leaves. It's great.
Anyway, yeah, I think I overstood my welcome because you said
no
10
worries,
minutes, so
it's always fun. It's always fun to have you on.
Sure, mate. Thanks for inviting me. And if you ever want me on again, give me a shout out.
Yo, let's get this harmful thing sorted. Let's figure this out.
It was fun talking to you guys. See ya.
As always. Layman or Styx, both of you, what did you think about that conversation?
I think we touched upon something that's kind of interesting to me, and that's the I would argue that there are two identities that each person has: the ascribed identity and the self-ascribed identity. The ascribed identity is essentially what society ascribes the person as an identity, what your surroundings ascribe to you as an identity. And the self-ascribed identity is how you identify yourself. And I think that a lot of identitarian movements are based on the self-ascribed identity of how you personally identify yourself. And the sad truth is that really, I think any sort of arbitrary limitations of what you are allowed or not allowed to be proud of, or what you are or not, what you are or what you are not allowed to consider your own identity, I think they are misplaced. Because in the end, if you are proud of, I don't know, having an imaginary friend, for example, that is completely fine in my book. And if you want to create assemblies based on people having imaginary friends or having small toes or having yellow teeth, all of that is completely fine. They are, in my opinion, just as valid as, quote unquote, your own accomplishments. I think it's just a very sort of arbitrary way of thinking.
And Styx, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I'd like to point out something that I've thought of, which is that the growth of movements that are like, oh, you should be not proud to be white. The growth of those movements is naturally also going to cause identitarianism to skyrocket. Whether a person agrees with it or not makes absolutely no difference. Because fundamentally, if you're an individualist, like I am, and you're looking at two different groups of people that seem to form a dichotomy. Now, they may not be a true dichotomy in all senses, but they seem to. One of them's telling you to hate yourself, to feel bad, you're guilty, your ancestors are terrible, don't feel pride, basically, you need to pay reparations. And the other group's saying, no, you should be proud of, your ancestors and who you are. Who are you going to side with? Therein lies the fundamental problem of all the progressive groups in their goals, which is that they can't possibly win when they're trying to consistently browbeat a segment of the population. And they're driving, strangely enough now, groups together because they've begun driving people of East Asian heritage as well in with the white identitarians in some cases on the basis of affirmative action. Even Jewish individuals in some cases, because they're like, oh, Israel is terrible, and they have walls too, and they want to take a stand against populism, which oddly means that by their own former standards, they have to become, quote unquote, of course, it's a maybe a false label, but anti-Semitic by the standards that they used to endorse. It's just the funniest thing in the world, I think.
Interesting. Cool. Let's read some super chats. There's a lot of questions here. So if I cut out, just let me know. Jang Soap, $2. I love Styx and all you beautiful motherfuckers. Thank you, man. Jeff Smith, $20. I love your new direction, Andy, and I'm along for the ride. I've never watched a live stream in its entirety before, but watched all your streams fully this week. And when you were on Tonka, now fuck Franny on a stream. Jesus Christ. And by the way, I actually have someone who's going to be editing the best of clips. We have like a best of like certain guests that people want to see, a best of fights, a best of debates. So we are going to release smaller clips of the best moments for people who can't watch, the long streams. Unvarnished Void, $5. I am sad that you didn't come on our show as promised. Did I? I don't remember you. So just throw me an email. All right. So my bad. Jeff Smith, $2. Ask Roaming for advice about the Spencer debate. Yeah, I'll do that. Cool Board 9, $5. Styx versus Millennial Woes. When? Maybe we could figure that out. That'd be interesting.
I don't know, because I kind of like Millennial Woes, like we've spoken briefly. So.
All right, cool. Oh yeah, Unvarnished, my fucking dude. I'm gonna tell Unvarnished right now. I fucking was talking to Bunty King last night for about 3.5 hours, explaining why I'm talking to people on the alt-right and like anarchists, communists and all this stuff. And it took me 3 hours to explain to him and make him realize that I believe that the skeptics have like the, like what is the genre of skeptics, like the elite TM skeptics are all now browbeating me. A few of them are like, not all, hashtag not all, but a lot of them have been, angry of what I'm doing right now. And I've explained to him, and then he finally understood what I meant. And I'm going to be having a talk with him on Monday on his show at 6, talking about the whole skeptic thing and where I'm at with that. So yeah, sorry about that. I'll hop on next time. My bad. Jeremy Robinson, $5. Warski, why are you the mirror image of Jesse Pinkman? Hey, bitch, science, bitch. Also, Styx, if you come to Arizona, we will put you up if that's an issue. There you go. You like have. I'm sure he'll take a hotel though. Sure.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, Kenneth G, $20. Free speech, absolute. It doesn't mean you like or endorse the speech. Every single person has the right to voice their opinion. I don't care if you're alt-right or a fucking pedo. Let them display their true autism to the world. You know what's funny, by the way? I have a show. I don't know if you've seen this, Styx. I have a show with an SJW, or he's a little bit more in the center now. But I've been doing this show for about 2 weeks with him. And he brings on social justice warriors, and I bring on antis, and we just debate and have polite conversations. Sometimes it's heated, and no one of the skeptics blinked an eye. They were all praising me. Oh, Andy's bridging the gap. Wow, look, we're talking with a and then I have JF on my show, and people are DMing me like, "Don't trust JF. He's here to destroy you, blah, blah, blah." The exaggerations.
I mean, to be fair, I am here to destroy you, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah, so just a few more. Brazen Bunny, $5. Hey, Andy, DM on Twitter at Brazen Bunny. I have some information for those burned or defrauded by Kilroy. All right, I'll check that out. Thanks, man. OJ Simp, $5. I love you, Stick. You are my Styx. You're my favorite YouTuber. I won $3,000 off your Trump prediction. JF
Nice.
is a sexy bitch too. Yo, that's sick. Wolf for the top hat, $60. Jesus. Oh, what's up, Wolf? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. I've been off the internet for a week and a half, and shit royally hit the fan. Well, at least I've got a fuck ton of content to keep me entertained. A good shit keeping to your morals, Andy. Thank you very much. Shadow Dust, $5. Open borders equals treason. Stealth Creations, $5. If you guys want an interesting chat, get Tim Aretasil from Semigog's Chain Smoke series. All right, yo, send me an email to remind me, please. Andy Worski at Gmail. Katera Hergen, $5. JF, I heard that fave anime shit. And lastly, for actually 2 more, Badass Bab, £5. Is V transitioning? His voice is so high pitched. I'm scared my windows will shatter every time you bring him on. Jesus. Gabriel Lopez, 50R. What's up, brother? How you doing? Fuck V right in his gypsy asshole with a 10.2-inch cock. I came to enjoy.
That's very, very specific.
What's the 10.2 meme? Can Stick explain? It seems to be related to him.
Yeah, it's related to my apparent phallic size, I guess. It was 10 inches, and then it became 10.1, and then somehow 10.2 was chosen. I don't know how it specifically stuck there. I don't know.
It's a point of equilibrium.
Yeah, I guess it's my spoon length.
Well, he also adds, Gabriel also adds, I came to enjoy his videos a lot. He puts a heart. Awesome guest today. That's about all. Peace out. Thank you very much. And just one more real quick, David. Essential, $5. Every political position is violent. They are maintained by force. Political speech, thus violent speech must be allowed. May I just also add my opinion on this is I believe in all free speech, of course. However, if there is, like, for example, let's say Tara, who's watching right now. Hi, Tara. How are you? You were very polite the other day, by the way. Thank you. And thanks for swinging on by. But some of her viewpoints about, just throwing everyone out of America who wasn't born there, and, all that stuff, I disagree with completely. But I believe she should have her free speech to say that. But let's say Tara's speech was something along the lines of, let's round up the troops, let's grab our shotties, let's start fucking killing people. That's my line, because that's now harming people. You know what I mean? And also, by the way, I just want to add to what I was saying before was, the skeptics being proud that I was bridging the gap with SJWs. They were also fine with me talking to pedophiles. I talked to, I think about 3 pedophiles on this show in the past 2 years. And it's been very uncomfortable. And they were like really pumped for it. But God forbid if you bring in race realism. Oh, and JF, holy fuck, Mouthy Buddha hit that video today.
Oh my God.
Fucking.
Did
hey, Styx, did you watch this shit? Or Layman?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yo, everyone, when you have time, Mouthy Buddha's video with JF on race realism. I want to post like this link on my Twitter, and I want to tell all the people who are the skeptics who tell me to shut up about this subject have to watch that video. JF, you did an amazing job with your writing and how you spoke, but Mouthy Buddha's visual element, what the fuck?
Yeah. And this is the idea of Mouthy Buddha. He's contacted me, I think 5 days ago. And he's like, I have an idea for a collab. You are the brain, I am the video editor, and we'll create something beautiful. And I really love the idea. I think that, and working with this guy, honestly, was one of the most touching collaboration I've ever done. I've worked in surgery. I've worked with crack smoking actors on film sets. Mouthy Buddha is someone special in terms of teammate. He is really involved into creating high quality stuff. Now, one of the draft video he sent me for that video was a complete pile of crap with a fake DNA city. It was absolutely ugly. And I said, the rest of what you did is perfect, but remove that 30 seconds because it's absolutely ugly. That was the only thing that I had to criticize. The rest, he was so involved in making it so emotional. He really got what I wanted to say.
It was a fucking, and I just tweeted it out, so you can follow me at Andy Worski. It was actually, because a lot of people, I think the problem with race realism and by the way, I've been funny enough, talking about the skeptics telling me to shut my mouth and stay in line and keep my anti-feminism videos going. A lot of them were telling me to disassociate with fucking Mouthy Buddha when he made his JQ videos and stuff. And I was like, look, I don't agree with I mean, I haven't really, expanded on this or unpacked what he was talking about, but like, I'm sick of this fucking browbeating from this group.
Styx, did you have a look at the JQ series of Mati Buddha?
Did I?
Yeah.
No, I didn't even know who Mouthy Buddha was actually before tonight, to tell the truth. But I'll definitely have to check out their stuff.
Oh, Styx,
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now, like, he's made people very uncomfortable. But this guy, like, his visual element, man, this guy is some sort of CG animator or something, because he knows his shit, man. It's just awesome. So yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. Fucking hang on, hang on. There was a question here. Oh, god damn. I lost this.
While you're looking for your question, there is something that I would like to add to this whole thingy, because I noticed a very similar thing, that you are, at least I am, very often criticized for watching certain content, not even engaging with people, but just watching shit. So about a month and a half ago, I had this huge, weird, almost intervention going on against me because I watched some cringy, esoteric Aryanism stuff on YouTube, and people were like, "Oh my god, Layman, are you a Nazi? Do you believe in Hyperborea? Do you? Oh my god, Layman, oh no!" And it's like, dude, I just wanted to have some background noise, and notice that very consistently in our little niche of the internet, that just by watching something or talking to someone, people think you are giving them a thumbs up, that you are endorsing everything that's happening. And that, I think, is a big problem, and I don't like it.
Actually, our old pal, Coach Red Pill, who's been in hiding for a bit, which he actually emailed me to talk to him privately, so I'll do that. He did fuck up a bunch, but whatever. People make mistakes, and if you man up, that's cool, and I'll talk to you. However, he just had a stream with Teal Deer, who I've been critical of for the past year and a half. And with Teal Deer, the reason I was critical of him is he was critical of skeptics. And because of the tribal mentality that I was holding on to, I just got butthurt and didn't listen or read in between the lines of what he was talking about. And since I've been browbeat and I've opened my eyes to people trying to silence me, I've been re-listening to some of Teal Deer's stuff on his criticisms of the skeptics with a more open mind, and he was right the entire time. And the reason I bring up Coach Red Pill is he just had a stream with Teal Deer on Coach Red Pill's channel. As much as people might not like Coach Red Pill, I highly recommend it. And he's actually doing a video on what Layman just talked about, called you, like, something along the lines of, "You're not alt-right, but you soon will be." And the idea is, people think that having a co-host like JF or talking to certain people, that I'm now alt-right. And it doesn't matter how much. I mean, JF, how many times do I jump in when you say something, or Tara or whatever, and disagree and give my point of view?
Yeah, I mean, it happens. And Till there, by the way, you could say that he's been right 100% of the time. He's been talking 40 minutes a week, at least for 5 years. This guy is freaking right. In fact, he even said he was excited about my book. So what can I say against this guy?
Awesome.
But yeah, it's not because you engage in a dialogue with someone that you accept their view or that you agree with their view. But that's actually an inheritance from mainstream media. Mainstream media works by censoring some views. That's how they control discourse. And what you have today on the internet are people who wish that this state of things would continue, that there would be some people that we don't talk to, we just ignore them, because they know that if these ideas were to be discussed, they would have a chance to catch on some part of the population.
Yeah. Oh, and just on the Teal Deer thing and harmful opinions, like, these guys have been banished from the community or whatever, and when we take a few steps back and look at what they're saying, not as just a group of friends, like, they are fucking right. because the same thing just fucking happened to me, which is very interesting. But a lot of people are starting to see what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Which is interesting. So, oh, by the way, are you have you spoke to Teal Deer about possibly being on the show or something?
I
Jeff?
have no access to Till Deer.
Yeah,
He's so too autistic for me to speak to, but maybe I can try to send him a binary code encoding my desire for him to come. Maybe he will respond.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That was one of the most sexual things I've heard all evening.
That's jokes. You know what? We've been going on for like about an hour and a half. And Styx and Layman, just so you know what we do here is because there's a super chat still left, and I don't want you guys to just sit around while I'm reading super chat. So what we usually do is we do like a final, talk about the subject, a little wrap up, final thoughts type thing, and maybe just promote yourself and let everyone know what you do, what you have planned coming up. Any thoughts on the entire stream, and then you guys can jump out, and I'll stick around with the audience. JF likes to stick around, and by the way, JF, people loved the last hour where we were just fucking around with each other.
Now, before we move on to that part, I have one last question that I'd like to ask to our guests concerning freedom of speech. So there's this whole idea that sometimes speech can be repressing for other types of speech. And I was wondering, in your political thinking, how do you consider that? For example, some form of not violent intimidation, but some form of comments on the public space can incite others to self-censor. How do you approach that issue, and how do you tell which speech should be favored as opposed to other?
Well, that's definitely a concern of the existence of authoritarianism within dialogue, but there's nothing to be done about it. Because the only way to prevent that, again, is more authoritarianism. That's the great paradox, really, of all problems. So I wouldn't do anything about it, and I would just argue for a population that's more literate and has an understanding of the concept of individualism never has that problem as much, because people are going to be unwilling generally to self-censor. But yeah, it happens all the time. It happens on the internet, like as we were talking in the last bit there. Like, I've been called Nazi gatekeeper. Others have been, like, Sargon got called like the grand, Ku Klux Klan gatekeeper sort of bullcrap by the lamestream media. And it's obviously false. But the thing is, when you get a larger audience and you become more prone to those attacks, you also have more people that know that it's full of shit. So I think it sort of balances it out in the end a little bit.
I would absolutely support the notion that there's really nothing you can do about this. A more literate population definitely is a right step. Yeah. I would honestly argue for decentralizing issues of free speech as much as you possibly can, and leaving that up to people, because more governmental intervention always will, in my opinion, inevitably lead to more restrictions, at least when it comes to the issue of free speech.
It's like, hey, Layman, by the way, I've enjoyed your videos for a long time now. I think you're hilarious. But what's your, just for the audience to know, what's your like political alignment or whatever? I know, and here's the thing is, I'm honestly at the point where I don't even fucking know what I am. I'm liberal on some things, conservative on some things. I believe in race realism. I'm pro-trans. But I don't
know
want
what's Layman's alignment. Don't ask him, ask me. His alignment is I'm friends with everyone. Don't hurt me. I said nothing.
Actually, you are completely wrong. My political alignment is, and this is the first time I'm gonna announce it, so exclusive content. I am the very first unironic alt-centrist. Dab on the haters.
No, I don't paladin. It was alt-centrist before you.
Oh no, she wasn't. She fucking.
What is? Didn't she self-identify as alt-centrist?
Yeah, but you have to check out my Twitter bio. I've been an alt-centrist for like fucking 2 years, 3 years. It's like an old.
Okay, so it's not that much of a prior. It's not that much of a new announcement that you make.
Who the fuck reads my Twitter? Okay.
Okay.
No, I mean, honestly, I think it's far more important to find a sensible solution for every given state than to cling to any sort of ideology. If a country thrives under socialism, okay, give them socialism. If a country thrives under fascism, okay, give them fascism. Who cares? I think it would be completely arrogant of me to be like, hey, I've got this one political ideology, and I'm gonna force it onto every group of people on this planet. So I think, yeah, look at what works and implement it.
You know what? I've said this before. I take my politics like I'm at a buffet. You know, I just pick and choose what I like and what I don't. And, you know, back during the election cycle, you know, a lot of us were doing the laughing at SJWs when, you know, Trump won and they were all triggered and stuff. And I thought I was conservative, but to be honest with you, I'm not well read into politics. Now I'm learning a lot after a year later. Now I'm starting to learn a lot about politics. And which is why, you know, I look at some conservative viewpoints and I highly disagree with a lot of them. You know, for example, are you ready for this spicy idea? I've said this before. I'm actually pro-abortion, not pro-choice, because I think that a lot of conservatives use the argument that, well, or sorry, liberals use the argument, well, it's just a bundle of cells. It's a bundle of cells. Let's be honest. You're killing a fucking baby. However, if it's not born yet and it hasn't developed enough, I think you should have the right to kill it, in my opinion. And that's something conservatives have hated me for. I am pro-trans. I know that, you know, like a male to female is biologically a male, but I'm more on the a humane side where I want them to feel comfortable. And also I'll call them whatever they want to be called if it's not something fucking retarded like Zer or Z. However, I don't think the government should fucking have to pay for their operations or medication. I think that if you want to make that transition, that you should start working towards that, because I don't want to pay taxes on that bullshit. So I don't even know, like maybe one day I'll do a live show where I try to find a political alignment. And by the way, someone asked me, what is race realism? Watch Maldi Buddha's fucking video. That's what I believe a race realism is. And I think the problem is we bring up race realism and a lot of the alt-right start just talking about IQ. And there's a lot of differences between races, culturally, and just them, how they look, obviously, all those things. And I think that a lot of people hear the IQ and go, no, please, no. You're saying a certain race is dumber than the other. We're looking at race realism as not one race is superior, as JF said. We're looking at the differences of the race. So that's just.
So I'd like to ask to Dr. Layman concerning alt-centrism. That's very curious to me as a term. So what's the position of alt-centrist on race mixing? It's good, but not too much?
Oh, no. In my alt-centrist utopia, miscegenation is completely forbidden under the death penalty. I'm kidding. I think it is, in the end, it is a personal issue, what you do and what you don't do. It also touches upon this weird and really interesting thing: where does the individual stop and where does society start? Because an argument that I heard from very far right circles is that even if it is an individual decision to quote unquote race mix, it will inevitably lead to the dilution of the quote unquote white race. I personally think it is completely up to the individual, and I don't really care about what would happen to society down the road. But I have to also preface this that I personally am rather picky with my selection of partners.
Oh, finally, we have an admission that we've asked to Destiny for 2 hours last time. We still don't have the answer, and Dr. Layman just drops the knowledge without even being asked. So, Dr. Layman, what's your racial preference in terms of sex?
Here's the question. I don't. Here's the thing. I just had like the weirdest Nazi flashbacks right now because are like Southern Europeans white? Are Slavs white? What is white? But I guess I would say that I prefer white people. Everything European.
Nazi. There we go.
I also don't really mind Asians, and some native people are pretty cute too. But yeah,
Without the feathers, yeah.
Actually,
no. The feathers are the best. Bed tickling, getting tickled in the bed.
Oh my God, we're getting deep into his fantasies.
Yeah. Actually, Styx, I'm actually curious before we wrap up here. I'm actually curious because we were having our last discussion. I don't call these debates. I just call them discussions because whatever. But a Destiny was on. Have you heard of Destiny?
I've heard of him, yeah. Wasn't he the dude that got into it with Sargon there and it was all heated and then he was debating like crowd, I think?
Yeah, well, actually, if you go onto his YouTube channel, he's a Twitch streamer, but lately he's been debating people, left, right, and center. Like just basically anyone who's down for he debates his Twitter followers. Like, you know what I mean? But we were talking about basically, is it racist to be attracted to a certain race?
No,
or not attracted. Okay, yeah. So I think we're all in the same page because what he was saying. I'll just speak for him. If I'm wrong, I'm sure he'll message me angrily. However, he was saying that say I'm not okay. For example, let's say John is not attracted to a girl, right? He might. If he's a boss hiring people because he has that bias against black people being attracted to them or fucking them, he might now decide, okay, well, Tyrone's applying and that bias seeps in to hiring or the way you treat people. That would be his argument. If I'm wrong, Destiny, please don't fucking Skype me with tons of swear words. I know how you are, buddy. And I'll have you on sometime to explain yourself. This guy, look, I love Destiny, but Jesus, he gets really, really angry sometimes. Yeah, what's your opinion on that, Styx?
I would say, of course, some people might, be hiring in a biased manner, but I mean, they could do that without having any necessary sexual proclivities whatsoever with regards to race. So who cares? There's nothing to be done about it.
Yeah, let me check my Skype here. I just got a message. All right, there we go. Is Destiny like a fan now? Okay. He wrote a close enough, buddy. All right, cool. I was scared for a second. sorry, Destiny. Jesus Christ. All right. I was
fucking shaking. For a moment here I was like, holy fuck, if Destiny joined, we would, oh God. I would have to leave my YouTube afterwards.
I like Destiny. Hey, JF, what do you think? Because a lot of people in the comments fucking hated Destiny. What's your opinion on him, JF, from what you saw?
I mean, I think he was totally an ass to Tara McCarthy. I think that the internet has catched his lies concerning Tara McCarthy's position. And he was trumpeting constantly Tara. And people keep complaining when I defend someone. I don't even defend people. When I defend Coach Red Pill, when I defend Tara McCarthy, I defend the truth of their statement because I want to allow the actual dialogue to occur. If you have people yelling at each other, stuff that they haven't said and attributing to others stuff they haven't said, you don't have the true dialogue. I'm an agent of I'm the oil that you use just before the sex. I'm lubricating the space of fire. Okay.
Can I say something I think about McCarthy?
Yeah, for sure.
I think people target her specifically. Like she seems to get more shit than a lot of people. I think it's because she has a relaxing accent. And honestly, she's got that like glowiness about her. And so people assume that she's like going to back down and do the submissive thing. And then they don't realize she's actually like going to steamroll them. I think that they have a problem with her because people that are on the right, I think there's can be in some cases sort of a weird like masculine thing within the right, and on the left, like they're going to say like she's Hitler basically. And I think they fear, I've said for years that the left wing fears right-wing women way more than it does any man on the right. They don't really care about, because they can just say that the men are sexist because they control the current paradigm. But with the women, they don't really have as much of a counter for that. So they can go a bit further out on a limb, I think.
Do you think that people just completely dismiss her, or just say like really horrible? I mean, in my opinion, in my opinion, like Tara, I know you're probably watching this right now. You were very polite on the show. Thank you for that. I did, stop Destiny from over talking you. I hope you appreciate that. I do think some of the things that she has said on Twitter is very racist. The one thing that I really was disgusted with, but it's fine. She can have her own opinion. Was posting a picture of a white guy and a black chick and saying it's the same as bestiality.
Jesus.
Yeah. And
but I mean, some of it's might be tongue in cheek, and even if it's not, it's like, well, free speech. Who cares? If people are offended, if someone's offended by that sort of thing, they haven't hung around the parts of the internet that had an underground popularity maybe 10 years ago. And they're not hanging around the weird side of YouTube. They're not using 4chan. They're using most of Reddit at this point. So really, they should retreat back into their safe space, grow a pair. Yeah, there are people who are going to say stuff like that. There are also communists who say, hey, kill all the rich. Let's just hang them in the streets. How's that I don't see the difference.
Hey, so there's a contention here with Destiny. Me and him are BFFs now. We Skype each other and talk on the phone until all hours in the morning. He just wrote, okay, so he's quoting what you just said, Styx, and laughing at it. It might be tongue-in-cheek, LMFAO. It's just free speech. It's not an argument. No one is saying she shouldn't have the right to say it. She just saying it is racist. But here's the thing, Destiny. Yeah. You're watching this, buddy. And I told this to a Bunty yesterday. He's like, how do you talk to these people? Like, they're racist. They want me out of the country. And I'm like, you know what, man? I just took my fucking emotion out of it. And I think it's racist. But, I want to talk to these people because we've been in this little bubble forever. YouTube has been in like a bubble. A lot of people, just tribes, just fucking start appearing everywhere. And I think it's because we're emotional and we just start freaking out and it's just big arguments and then nothing fucking happens. And Tara,
it's very interesting that you raised that Bunty has raised in his private conversation with you that people want me out of the country. Because a Bunty, last time I saw him on the Andy Warski show, he then Skyped me and we talked about 15 minutes together in private. And he was totally obsessed with saying, Jeff, do you want me out of the country? Is that what you want? And I was saying, no, man. And he was like, but you're on the alt-right. You want me out of the country? And I was like, no, that's not what I want. That's not what I'm proposing. I'm proposing that an ethno-state may be a fantastic idea for the entire planet at this point. And an ethno-state that does not kick people out, that does not commit acts of violence. And he seemed fine with it. But what you're telling me is that you talked to him yesterday, and he's back on that fear.
Actually, sorry. Let me just clarify here. And a lot of people are upset with Bunty. It was a 3.5 hour conversation. That was within our first half an hour. By the last point, I was explaining to him how the alt-right is like a spectrum. It's not like people just hear the word alt-right and assume a certain person, a certain label. Again, that's the fucking problem with these labels that people just give themselves, because now someone's like, I'm a conservative. Now you go, okay, he's probably religious. He's probably this. He's probably that. And I just think that giving yourself the label without the fine print is not fair. And Bunty, I explained to him, like, I invited him on to talk to some alt-right people because I think he's been like thinking that they're all Richard Spencer, for example, And I'm going to have Richard Spencer on the show and I'll be questioning him. It'd be awesome. But yeah, like after 3.5 hours, he understood what I was saying. And then he tweeted it out, by the way, that I just talked to Andy for 3.5 hours and he opened my eyes, and we're going to be talking about this on his show and on my show. So he's been in that tribal mentality as well. I actually just mentioned to him, I'm like, may I ask you a question? To all the people that you're afraid that will call you out, how many of them DM you hello at any point? And he's like, fuck, you're right. I'm like, how many of them are sucking your dick? How many of them are promoting you? He's like, you're right. I'm like, dude, like it's not a big friend group. It's just colleagues that we're friendly with. And he wants to talk to you, by the way, JF. So that'd be cool.
Cool. But what I was pointing is just that you do seem to be mentioning that he had the same fear within that conversation at the beginning that he had with me. And it seems that your 3-hour conversation with him is exactly how my 15-minute conversation with him went 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. And what I'm afraid of is that he might be in a mentality where he wants to be a victim of an oppressive group. And Canada seems to be pushing that very easily into young leftists, and particularly young leftists in ethnic populations in Montreal. This idea that you are a victim of the oppression of nationalists and white people, and Quebecois in particular. And I'm afraid that he feels comfortable in that victim place, and I'd love to hear him about it. So I'll be here if he comes.
Yeah, I will for sure set that up. It'd be awesome. And Styx, do you want to wrap up any final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thought is, as before, if people hold the line, if we all sort of work together, we can do all sorts of great things. Just look at the last election. But if we sort of fracture along these weird ideological lines for various reasons, we're going to get screwed by the legacy media up the ass really hard. But I'd like to post something in chat. It's actually just a quick archived link. People, staying around after this can peruse it, while the chat's still up. It's actually something that I thought of. It's from one of my lists for a video for tomorrow. It's a BuzzFeed article. And it's one of the most racially insensitive things I ever seen. Oh, it actually won't allow me to post it, so never mind.
If you want, put it in our chat right here, and I'll.
Okay, yeah, I'll
throw the links down there.
I'll try to figure out how to post this. Okay, I'll pop that in. Okay, you can post that in there, and it's from BuzzFeed, talking about how, like, oh, white people ruin this, white people ruin that, white people, everything. I hear a lot of things that are way, way more concerning than what you're saying. Tara McCarthy posted all the time from the legacy media. Nobody ever calls them problematic. They just want to go after somebody on Twitter with a few tens of thousands of followers. They act like it's the end of the world. It's like, people have been posting this on a million different pages for all of the internet's history. Some of the first stuff that was popular on the internet was literally shit posting and flame wars. People need to stop being moralistic about it. It's just not helpful. It makes the world more boring. Don't people want to have fun, have a party? I think this is great that we can get together and do this sort of thing.
Yeah, and like I'm honestly like very happy that my channel has turned into this. I know a lot of my viewers were upset that I moved away from anti-SJW videos, but I was getting bored of it for a very long time. So I was trying something new, and I'm loving what's happening here. Yeah, but everyone go check Styx's channel out, by the way. It's awesome. And by the way, Layman, you want to wrap up you as well?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would largely agree with Styx, but with one addendum. I think that we should not have... like what I heard from Styx, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is this idea of cohesion, to be a unified front against the quote-unquote mainstream media. And I get that. But at the same time, this should not be anyone's declared goal to be a unified front, because that will inevitably lead you down the exact same path as the established media. I think that if we want to change anything, every individual and every creative collective and whatnot should strive to do the best content they can. And if they succeed, that's fucking fantastic. If they fail, okay, because we don't. I think we have to be very careful not to go down the path of nepotism, of just, hey, I'm the alternative media. Let's promote each other to fight the media war. That I think is a very dangerous train of thought, because if we don't deserve to succeed, I think we shouldn't succeed.
Yeah, it's not a bad point. Although I would point out that the bigger enemy is the old guard media and establishment. They're the ones with the hundreds of billions of dollars, the high-powered lawyers, and the multi-million-dollar studios. if we're just sort of competing among one another, that's fine, and that should happen. I believe in total capitalism, so I believe in a totally competitive situation. But when you've got a giant, it's sort of like, I use the analogy of people when they're fighting one another online, they're sort of ignoring the bear that's mauling them to swat at a mosquito. And ultimately, I just don't see that as helpful.
Absolutely, but I would just argue that simply by virtue of being honest and doing good content, simply by virtue of that, you are already damaging the mainstream media to a ridiculous degree.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Awesome. And I want to we'll move on to the super chat portion. So yo, Styx and Layman, are you sticking around, JF?
Yeah, I am, and that was awesome. And I agree with the whole ending. What Dr. Layman said and Styx, I agree fully.
Awesome, yo. And by the way, to everyone who's been donating and supporting in the chat, even if you're angry, fucking thanks for supporting the show. So yeah, yo, Styx and Layman, hope to have you on in the future. If you ever want to have a chat on your channels, please throw me a DM whenever. Spoon Clank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
have no idea what it is, but okay.
Oh, it's like, you know, like how certain poetic people will cheer on, you know, Spoon Clank. He's very elegant.
I suck dick, but that is the gayest thing I've ever heard.
There are so many homosexuals on YouTube. We need to do a special show about this, Andy.
Yeah, I actually had a few gay people reach out. Yo, I had a few gay people actually reach out and want to talk about that when I met on my list, that list I went over. And I went over, like, you know, sex and all that stuff. So they wanted to be on. And maybe we'll do just a gay show, and we'll have Dr. Layman in here.
Well, I'm not okay. I accept my fate.
It's weird to learn that from Dr. Layman, because I make a stream where I keep talking about making babies, and Dr. Layman is a big fan of it. I mean, he's often on my stream.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to each his own. Also, I should add that I'm not like fully gay. I like all sorts of treats, but we shouldn't, bring like, sexuality into this. I think it feels kind of tension-whoring. Let's not do this.
Yeah, so everyone go fucking subscribe to their channels. We'll move on to the next portion. Styx and Layman, thank you so fucking much. That was an awesome discussion. I had a lot of fun with that.
It was great. Peace out.
Yeah, I'm expecting my paycheck in the next week, Andy. Thank you for having me.
All right. All right, peace, guys.
Allah Akbar.
Jesus Christ, just end with Allah Akbar. Hey, JF, sorry, can you give me just 5 minutes? I have to use the washroom, and I'm gonna grab some water.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk with the chat a little bit.
Yeah. You can just do whatever. All right, cool. 1 sec, man.
Go ahead, chat. My body is ready. Now, when JF controls the Warski show, things get a little different. Because I don't care about the elite. I don't care about those who can afford the super chat. I go straight into the plebs chat. I want to talk directly with the people. And so what do I see here? Papa JF, JF 1488, Frog Power. This is where I feel home. Among the poors. Those who can't afford the $1 super chat. You know what I'm saying? Based people. I feel dirty already, but it feels like home. So someone asked about gay genes. Yeah, I mean, there could be gay genes. Who knows? One of the theory that I particularly like about gay evolution would be, suppose you have a gene that makes you, that when the gene is in a woman, it makes you have sex a lot and really love men. And so that, let's say that this gene makes you have 5 more babies in your life. Now, when that gene happens to find himself in a guy, the gene may have extra effects. It may be overdriving the love for men too much. And so you find yourself with a gene that can survive because of the added benefit in women. but sometimes it will find itself into a man and it will do damage in the sense of not allowing that man to be properly attracted to women, result in less babies. But as long as the advantage that is provided to the woman is higher than the advantage that is provided to the man, the gene could survive. JF, say thirds. I really have to if I think about it for 10 seconds and I concentrate, I think I can do the true English pronunciation. So third, a third, a third of a pie. I am cutting that pie in three. JF is God real. No, it is not. Jeff will blow the fuck out the skeptics. Okay, so the plebs chat is called the Warski Ghetto. So we didn't have any intervention from the G unit tonight. That's one thing that I found surprising. We don't have an attack, a straight attack with the G unit. I think that the G unit is sleeping tonight. Maybe it's too late. Oh, do an impersonation of Andy. Oh God, that one is a tough one. Can I do an impersonation of Andy Warski? Jesus. All right, guys. So I'd like to say that I really like what you guys have just been saying. Now we have another guest, and like I want to ask him, like, dude, what do you think about what was just said? Was it accurate? I wait for the chat judgment. If that was a good imitation of Andy, type 1. If it was not a good imitation of Andy, type 2. I will be waiting for the vote. Oh, we got a couple of fun. Oh, wow.
I am back. Oh, hey, may I say one thing, JF?
Yep.
A few people emailed me, and a lot of them fucking just, I mean, they enjoyed our debate the other day, or not debates, our discussion the other day. And a lot of them said that they absolutely loved just me and you at the end, just having fucking fun for that
Personally,
hour.
I had great fun too. I don't know if you were you hearing. Do you carry your earphones in the bathroom?
No, because I'll listen to streams on my phone, but on this I just put my headphones. I didn't hear anything that you said.
So the chat asked me to imitate you, and they have then voted that my imitation was accurate.
Okay, let's do this because I've been imitating you, by the way, to people. Whenever I quote you, I have to do it in your voice. Every fucking and Chris, right? He's doing some behind the scenes things where, by the way, he's setting up some really fucking cool shit. He ordered a lot of stuff on Amazon. We got better internet coming.
Cool.
We're investing all the money back into the show. So next week, man, you're gonna see a fucking enormous change. I have a lot of things happening behind the scenes, but I don't want to release it until it's all working, and then me and you just practice and test it out and make sure it's working. Anyway, let's go over the invitations, and I'll do mine of you after.
Okay, so I do an imitation of you, you do an imitation of me, and the chat has to vote to who got it best.
Okay, let's do this.
All right, guys, so I'm so happy to have you here. I think that what was just said was excellent. I really agree with what was just said. And we have another guest here, and I would like to ask you, what do you think about what was talked about in the last minutes? Like, I'm a fucking dumbass, okay? I don't understand this shit. I have like no education, dude.
Hey, dude, yeah, someone just said add a little bit of stutter. Add a little bit of stutter in there. On the G's, remember, it's the G's.
I'm not adding the stutter. I don't want to laugh about this problem.
No, dude. Here's the thing, man. when you have a stutter, like the most crippling part about it is being afraid of it. That's like a lot of problems I had growing up was the pain of being embarrassed by it, and laughing at it and making fun of it just makes me like it has removed all that fear. And I feel when people feel really sad for me for stuttering, it angers me almost in a little bit.
Okay. Well, next time that I do an imitation, next stream I will add the stutter in and I'll improve my imitation. Now your turn.
Okay, hang on. I'm just laughing. You see, Zeph, go fuck yourself. I do not accept your apology. Race realism is real. Oh God, I was doing it so much better. Fuck. God damn it! Now I'm under pressure. I need a thing to say. I need a thing to say. Like, give me like a topic.
So let's tell like trash talk V in JF accent.
V, you always come here and you talk shit. No one likes what you're saying. You're a dumb gypsy and you should be sent away. Every time I hear you, I get sick. And I don't know why Andy sends you an invite. So get out of here, you gypsy.
And a classical JF sentence is, you've just ridiculed yourself on the public space in the most embarrassing way possible.
You just ridiculous. Oh, fuck. How do you say ridiculous? How do you say that?
You've just ridiculed yourself on the public space in the most embarrassing possible way.
Okay, I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna start practicing. I might even just record it and practice, and then we'll play it on the show next time. By the way, V and people watching right now, a cool little thing we're gonna be adding in here, and I'm sure you'll love this in case you want to do anything like this, is we'll have a thing set up where we could play audio and video on the show for people to watch. We're just waiting for the internet people to come and change the box and put the better internet in. So yeah. So if you have any video ideas, by the way, JF, okay, remember at the end of our last show, and we're going to read super chats and we're going to answer questions. It'll be fucking awesome time. But JF, a really cool thing I want to tell you is after our show, and I gave that list of topics, and you liked it. So we got, honestly, man, I'd say about 150 emails within a day.
Nice.
We're actually trying to make a new email address because it's too cluttered with everything in that one email. So we got from far left academia, we got people on the far right. We've got robotic engineers, an AI, a person who creates AI. He heard me say that topic and he wants to be on. From priests to Muslim priests to atheists to anti-theists, like literally, man, every topic that I had mentioned. Oh, by the way, did I tell you I talked to an anarchist communist?
You told me that.
Yeah, we talked for about 10 minutes, and I would love to have him on and we could just talk to him because he's very chill, but the things that he says is he just hey man, I just want to watch the world burn. He was actually part of the server of the Kraut server, and he's like Andy, I just want to tell you, man, that like I didn't dox anyone because I know it would have been leaked. However, I don't give a fuck. Fuck fascists. I want to watch them burn. I was like, it was actually 7 a.m, and my buddy just dragged me into his Discord, and he's like, "Yo, this guy wants to talk to you, man. Like, he's a little bit insane." And I was like, not insane, but he's like, he's a little bit intense. And then fucking, he drops that. I'm like, what the fuck? Holy shit. So yeah, we're gonna have some interesting episodes, dude.
And someone on the chat just raised a very interesting discussion we could have. If anyone listening to this wants to challenge me on genetic editing, if someone supports gene editing in humans, I want to debate that person.
Yo, let's do. Yeah, everyone who's watching right now, and if you know someone, just let us know. So let's fucking. And someone's like, he's getting trolled. No, I went through all the social media. That's dubious. All right, let's check out some of these motherfucking super chats. Thank you everyone for donating. By the way, you're keeping the show running. We have a lot of cool plans. We're reinvesting it back into this, so it's gonna be fucking awesome. Cody Trinter, what's up, buddy? He's been donating since the first like 10 episodes. $10. Give Sassy Shelly a wrench to mod. Sassy Shelly. Yeah, I want to talk to all the mods, by the way. I think we have to do that. Ministry of Wrongthink. $5. Fuck the Avengers. This is the greatest lineup of all time. Awesome. Shadows of Dust. $5. Open borders equals treason. Wait, did I read that already? I think I may have. No, sorry. Ragnar Albert. $10. Thanks, buddy. AI will unite us. It's cold embrace. Humanity will fight, but we know it will be right. Non-biased and calculated. We squabble and strive for our right to life, but the AI cares not for morals, but results. Hey, V, sorry, V, oh my God. JF, I was reading V's name. Just give me 2 seconds, dude. Just 1 second.
All right.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. 1 second, guys. Sorry, pardon me. If you want to read the chat, by the way, and just see what people are saying, I just have to do one quick thing.
JF, can you precise your view on gene editing? That's actually the first chapter of my book that you can read, book.jfg.world. I have given the first chapter for free. I have not published the book yet, but my position is that gene editing in humans will result in a phenotypic revolution. It will result in human DNA being edited by an AI for the interest of the AI. And it will the AI will create humans that are submissive to him, and it will eventually become a replicator. It will become a life form that controls humans by modifying their genes in the way that favors the AI rather than the humans. So that's my position on why gene editing is wrong. It's going to eventually outcompete us, and we will create a separate species that will eventually kill us.
Back. Yeah, sorry about that.
All right.
I caught a cold yesterday, and I'm just blowing my nose, and I ran out of tissue.
Right.
Yeah. So, hey. By the way, before we continue with super chats, man, this show is fucking awesome. Very happy. I'm blown away with
the direction we're taking.
I'm sorry.
I'm so happy with the direction we're taking. I think that people on the internet like it. There is a good chemistry in this show. And I think that your openness to say, we're going to discuss everything on this show, this is something very special and very new.
Yeah, man. Like, these topics that I haven't dived into, I'm fucking pumped. And people are loving it. Some people are upset, that I'm not making anti-SJW videos. But, like, what else do I say, JF?
Yeah, the SJWs are pretty dead. It's like, as Dr. Layman himself put it once, we've shot on YouTube until it was full.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious, dude. All right, let's go over some questions here. I go PN, $10. The V/Styxstream, well worth the money. Thanks, man. Duncan Massive, $5. Can you start over? I just tuned in. Also, tell Tonka to get webcams going so I know who's talking. You know what? I'll talk to him about that. Tonka made Mr. Mediker's video. Everyone, love Tonka. Go subscribe to the Morning Kumite. I wanted to be on this morning to just say one thing, but I was talking to Bunty all night. And I'd love to have Bunty on, and we could ask him about all that stuff that you were saying. Duncan Massive, Rook Bueno, $2. Stick Spoon Clank for me, and he did do that for you. Yep. I saw that. Christoph, $5. Bill Clinton was the president when the Columbine shooting took place, and his admin attacked Marilyn Manson and video games in response, not just Bush. Larry Steele, $5. It's funny how V doesn't understand Bush and Clinton are on the same team. Jesse James, $5. If you go off what Jordan Peterson says, being conservative or liberal isn't necessarily a choice. It is based off character traits and even instinct.
True.
May I actually ask you a question about Jordan Peterson? I'm kind of disappointed, but maybe I'm not looking at it in all angles. I like his lectures. I enjoy them. However, did you hear about his panel with Faith Goldie and what happened?
No, I didn't hear.
All right. And this is quite upsetting to me. And I honestly am fucking sick of people saying free speech, like branding themselves as free speech. How I feel, I used to work at McDonald's, and the fucking meat was called, the company was called 100% beef. So when they promoted it on commercials, they can be like made with 100% beef. But that's just the company name. It was a loophole. McDonald's bullshitting, right? So I see people, I'm going to call it some names here, and they can talk to me if they want, email me, whatever, try and get a hold of them. I don't care. I see people like Jordan Peterson in this situation, and I'll explain this before I call out more names. He wanted to have Faith Goldie on a panel, and she was supposed to be on a panel. And then she went on a show, on a, alt-right white nationalist show, and didn't challenge them enough. So he threw him off the panel, and on stage, he said, sorry, but, she went on that show. She didn't challenge them enough, and it's a risk having her here. And I am completely, look, I love Jordan Peterson, but I disagree with his points on religion because I'm an atheist. But fucking Jordan Peterson, I hope he watches this, man. Super disappointed. Like, honestly, fucking mad disappointed in him.
I differ a little bit from you in that I don't love Jordan Peterson to start with. I don't know the details of that story, but it seems totally unjustified. I've heard also an argument by Sam Harris to one of his guests, where the guest just comes in and Sam Harris starts like, well, you've been doing an interview with Stéphane Molyneux. Stéphane Molyneux is connected to this other white nationalist, and this other white nationalist is connected to the KKK. So we're only 4 nods away from the KKK. And I'm like, in terms of guilt by association, guys, Sam Harris is using nodes of association. He cares about
Wait, Sam Harris did this? Said this?
Yeah, he did that. And people can go see on the Kronos YouTube channel. He has a record of that moment.
Kronos, yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, guilt by association at 1 degree is already grave. At 4 degrees, my God, what the fuck are you doing, Sam?
Yo, yeah. So actually, first of all, Kronos, I emailed him, or I messaged him on his channel. He's been taking the best of clips from the Warski Lives. So I was going to be talking to him. He emailed me, and he's a bit sick right now. So he said, email me back in a few days. And, he's been digging and making amazing clips. And I'd love to, and I said on his channel, hey man, make more clips. I won't copyright infringe you. Like, this is amazing. I appreciate it. Contact me.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
He's on my Discord server, and he's really a great guy. I
fucking hate when people take a clip and someone copyright infringes it. It's like, yo, take that as a compliment, motherfucker. Am I clipping the videos? No. Like, that's fucking awesome. I want that person to have views. Yo, keep fucking doing it, bro. Like, anyone here watching, if you see a good point, like a good 10-minute, and you want to put it on your channel, do it right now. Go ahead. I think it's Keep Vid, or I'm pretty sure you need like a fucking attachment on Chrome. If you have any great clips, just send me a link and we can work together. And JF, if you like this idea, let's get people to clip some stuff that they like, send it to us. We could download it and put it in like a best of, right?
Absolutely.
And then we'll put on the bottom left, we'll put the promotion of the channel of the person who made the clip. So I'll help promote, and I'll do like a little dialogue voiceover, thanking them and telling them to subscribe if they've been posting stuff. Destiny's talking shit right now, apparently. Is he? Here's the problem with Destiny. All right. Here's the
emotion.
He's too emotional. I told this to Bunty, by the way, because he's like, I can't interview these people. I'm like, let me tell you something, man. I used to get overly emotional all the fucking time. Like that was my shtick. And I still get emotional. You see my fights and arguments. Sorry, my fucking headphones just fell out. Okay. Hey, Destiny, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you something. And someone sent him this part because he's streaming right now. You know that people agreed with you. My dad agreed with you because he disagreed with Tara McCarthy, though he liked the debate. My dad actually, by the way, said it was the best video that I've ever done in my entire life. And he likes you a lot, JF, though he disagrees with you, but he thinks you're awesome. But here's the thing, Destiny. There are people emailing me and in the comments and DMing saying, I agree with Destiny, but he's making me like the alt-right a lot more right now. He is anti-debating. When you look at fucking Tara, and I like Tara as a person. I disagree with her viewpoints completely. And I think she's a little bit racist in my opinion. But, you know, I'd love to talk with her a little bit more. And she's like very nice and cool. But fucking Destiny, when you go, I'm going to say this. All right, when you have an awesome point that even I agree with, when you preface it by saying, I'm going to talk slow because you can't, like, I know you're slow.
Yeah.
You just made people who agree with your fucking point of view not want to agree with you. You change people's minds. That's why, honestly, I'll tell you something, JF, that he says things that I agree with all the time, but he's such an ad hom fucking asshole that it's like, I agree with you, but I don't want to say I agree with you.
Yeah. And by the way, Destiny, since the debate, and there's lots of people asking on the chat, so let's clarify this. Destiny has been engaging in digging through my past relationship with women. It's pretty dirty to do that, Destiny, given that I've always respected you as an individual with your IDs. I've never went into your past. I've never made the claims that people like Naked Ape did.
He did that?
On stream, he read court cases where people make false allegations against me. He's done that, and then his entire audience, his big fans, have come into my Discord and spammed fake information about me just because they take pictures of the papers where there are false claims, and they claim that the courts have found these things. It's not that the courts have found these things. It's that I've been the victim of false allegations by 7 women in my life in courts. All of them were wrong. None of them have led to any court finding me guilty of anything. And Destiny dirties my reputation by showing that on his stream and discussing and saying, oh, if we believe these words, then JF is an abuser and JF is manipulating autistic people.
May I ask you something? I was DM'd this. I didn't want to bring it up on this stream. I want to talk to you personally, but maybe I'll just bring it up because someone that I respect DM'd me. Hang on, let me just open it up here. Hang on, but let me open it up because this is actually pretty. I want to ask you about this, and now that you're bringing it up, it's probably the best time to answer this. So I hope the buddy who did this. All right, so this person sent me some pictures here saying that, you know, it seems as if that, like, he's saying that you might like fucking be like a predator, and I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it. And now you're saying false allegations. So he posted some pictures here. Okay, from I guess the court case, and this is what Destiny is. Her thought process seemed slow, but her thought content had no auditory or visual hallucinations. Her answers to questions seemed to take a long time to find a response. If she had one, although once she answered it, it seemed appropriate. She was able to subtract 7 from 100, but did it very slowly, as if counting her fingers. She also seemed upset or anxious when I asked her to keep subtracting 7 from the answers she would get. But this is like people with autism, man.
So I've been saying on the public space for many years now, I was in love with someone who had autism. And she was a brilliant woman. And even from the segments that you've just read, you can see that the psychiatrist is writing, well, she's right on the response. She's just taking a little more seconds to answer. That was the characteristic of her brain. I've always been saying this. In fact, I've been saying this on the Warski show. I'm sure you remember about a week or two ago when the subject came up. I was in love with someone who had relatively low IQ, and she had problems answering to stuff quickly. But she was freaking brilliant inside, and she was a beautiful person. And now they take these little segments. First, I will say, you cannot believe anything that you read in there. It's been written by lawyers who were trying to have her found incapable of consenting. So what you see there are allegations. If you really want to find the serious truth of this, look at the court finding at the end, and you will see that this court has not found me to be an abuser, has not found me to have exploited this lady. We were in love, and the court decided that they would make her unable to consent. That's the court's choice. I disagree with it, and she disagreed with the court too, because she wanted to be with me. But don't claim that the arguments of the lawyer of the other side, those who were trying to support the position of her father, which was that she was unable to consent, don't take these allegations as truth. They have not been found truthful by the judge.
Yeah, and I got fucking Destiny saying more allegations here to me. I'm not going to bring that up, Destiny, at the moment, because I have no evidence or anything. He's like all in caps lock.
Yeah, I mean, the answer to Destiny is, yeah, you can dig in my past. You know what you will find? You will find that there's 7 women total in my life that have accused me of crimes that I've not committed, and that I was found non-guilty in every single fucking case.
May I ask you
a
then?
coordinated set of people tried to get me in prison and tried to impede on my individual liberties because they did not like the tangent of politics that I was driven toward after knowing them.
Just a question here. Would you want to talk to them about this shit, or you just want to say
to talk to Destiny? Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be a very pleasant show because he's going to come and he's going to drop all sorts of falsity, and I'm going to be responding the same thing all over again, which is, yeah, those were allegations. They were not found to be true by a court. If you think there is an entertainment value to this, bring him on. I don't mind, but I'm telling you, it's going to be a very sad discussion.
You want to just do 5 minutes with him right now, and I'll time it?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. I'll time it too. Let me just get my timer ready here. Hang on. I'm not going to send him the link until I have the timer ready, because I hope you enjoy when I push along the show. And I'm sorry if I moved along too fast, but I'm just making sure that everything's fucking fair in this. And this is a serious allegation against my friend JF here, and I want to give him a chance to respond. I have actually a buddy. I don't know if I told you this, JF, but a buddy broke up with his girlfriend before, and he broke up with her like a few times, and she wouldn't let him, blah, blah, blah. He went to her front door. He was like, hey, it's done. He handed her like a box of shit, right? And she's like, no, we're not done. We're not done. So he's trying to run away, and she's running after him in the middle of the night, and she grabbed him, and he's trying to shake her off. And then she just starts screaming rape, rape over and over. And a pickup truck full of dudes came out. We're driving by with their windows open, heard this, came out and beat the shit out of him. And he went to court, and then he had all the evidence against her. So there's a lot of fucking bullshit here. So I've seen it happen.
The reason I'm willing to talk about this is that there are hundreds of people listening to us right now who are victim of false allegation in this country, and particularly in family courts, so that their exes can kidnap their children by lying about them in courts. And so, yes, bring it.
Actually, just real fast, Tara DM'd me. She said, oh, you don't have to read this on the stream. It's not a big deal. But she just wanted to say, probably the meanest thing I've done on Twitter was telling a black-white mixed-race couple that their kids are going to have a lower than average IQ. And they tried rubbing their relationship in my face. But from my perspective, what I said there is 100% true. I do believe that if more people were aware of this, they would think twice about who they partner up with. I'm going to disagree with that like right now before I finish her statement, because I'm more of a humanitarian and an individualist, and I believe people should do whatever they want. You can ask JF if this is true, and I'm sure he will confirm regarding the IQ part. A lot of this information isn't nice to hear, but truth is the truth. And 99% of the time, I will try to not be mean about it. And my answer, or my thought process on that, by the way, is I haven't done an IQ test. I'm very interested in doing one. I was thinking about doing an IQ test, like a professional one. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I have a maybe an average or lower IQ. But hey, I'll look at this. Look what I did here. Not only me, I had help with Chris and friends and other YouTubers who promoted me. But, you know, I don't think that IQ is the end all be all. But thank you, Tara, for clarifying your position. I really appreciate that. Destiny, I sent him the link. He should be here any fucking
I'm
second.
here. What's up, buddy?
Oh, there you are. Steven, how are you? Hey, by the way,
I'm doing great. Yeah.
Real fast before we go over this topic, I just want to say you were right about the fucking skeptics.
No, it's okay, my dude.
But you are an asshole. Go.
Yeah, I am. I am an asshole. Okay. So I'm going to preface this with a somewhat meaningless preface that I don't like to do digging into like personal attacks. JF has described this as me digging into his history. The only reason I'm kind of interested in this is because JF has brought it up on at least 2 independent occasions across different podcasts, and he seems to have a way of telling this story that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. And the fact that he brings it up publicly and then kind of defends it feels a little bit weird to me. An unrelated third party said that he was somewhat familiar with JF because he's also a PhD neuroscientist, and he posted the court documents that he found. So this is something that kind of bothers me because this is one of those things where, like, even if you remove the mental illness aspect from this girl, I think that what JF has done is incredibly disgusting and insanely irresponsible. So basically, I'm not going to use even any of the court sourced stuff. In JF's own words, a 19-year-old girl communicated with him online. He fell in love with her. He convinced her to leave her family and join him in North Carolina. And then after 3 weeks of being with her, a girl that had never lived on her own, worked a job, lived apart from her parents, been in a relationship, he convinced her to try to have a child with him. That is insanely inappropriate for a 32-year-old guy to do that to a 19-year-old girl, leaving aside the mental illness.
Yeah,
so you know what? I will simply correct one fact, and for the rest, I will let the internet judge. I was not with her for 3 weeks. I was with her for 6 months. Other than that, I don't care about your moral offense, you piece of shit.
Sure, you don't have to care about my moral offense because the court already agreed with me about the moral offense that this girl did not have the. Two independent psychiatrists evaluated this girl. The first said that she had the social and mental skills of a 10 to 11-year-old child, and the second one said that she wasn't fit to make the decision to leave and live with you and have a child, which is obviously evidenced by the fact that she had no income. She didn't know if you had income. She had never lived on her own before, and despite all of this, you convinced her to leave her family without a word to join you and make a baby.
Destiny,
yeah,
that's
called love, you idiot.
That's called love, but a 19-year-old girl? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, a 19-year-old girl can love, you idiot.
All right, I
don't know why you're lecturing.
Hang on.
Do you want people in the future to be scared of going out with mentally disabled people? To be scared that eventually Destiny will find out and he will ruin their life?
So, okay, go ahead, Jay.
1 second, because this is something that someone, I will read all the other super chats, but someone just donated $5. Dick fingers, $5. Thanks, buddy. So this isn't a hypocrisy I do see with you right now, Destiny.
What?
Hang on, chill, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I'm just asking what the hypocrisy is.
Not on what you're saying right now, but on other subjects that you've talked about. You wrote this. In your own words, you fucking idiot, you asked if pedophilia was wrong and incest as well on stream. And you have to explain to us how is it immoral that JF dated a 19-year-old, even if she has the mental capacity of, let's say, like, what was it, 12, 13? What was it?
No, first, that's not true. That's a claim that a psychiatrist made, and that claim was not found to be true by any judge. And I was not able, in fact, even to argue against that claim because it is discarded in the case. Now, it is a 19-year-old woman who was free to make her choices, and she's decided that she wanted to start a family with me. Steven can come here and express moral offense. Who cares? Everyone on the chat says 19 is legal, Steven. So what are you going to do now?
So why didn't she fight the court about being appointed a guardian, JF? If she wanted
now
to
we're
be
getting
with you.
now we're getting close to the truth, and now we can talk about the details. She was intimidated, physically abused by her father, and intimidated into abandoning her rights. You want to
So
talk
if
about
this girl, sure. Well, I mean, this is an interesting conundrum then that you've put yourself in. You're saying that a girl was so easily intimidated that she quickly gave up her right to exist as an autonomous person, but you claim the same person was mature enough to make the decision to move in with you and bear your child?
Yeah, because whether you like it or not, physical intimidation on a 19-year-old who is already mentally feeble in some way, who has difficulties processing information from the world in the same way that others do, whether you like it or not, intimidation and violence changes choice. And that's the saddest thing in my life, to have seen this woman be violently intimidated into abandoning her own rights.
Do you have any evidence of any violent intimidation from her father?
Yes, I have pictures of her father attacking her and me, and
Really?
making
Press charges?
injuries
Did
to
you
our
ever present
bodies.
it to a court anywhere to contest the
press
guardianship?
charges. I did press charges. Unfortunately, in North Carolina, they will not pursue that case simply because a judge has decided that it was okay to come and get this girl for her father, and they will not pursue the charge. But her father did enter in my home illegally and assaulted me. I have pictures of it, and I don't care about what you think about it.
Okay,
Hey,
well, at the end of the
definitely.
day, yeah, what's up?
Yeah. So, okay, I'll ask you. Okay, and you can tell me if I'm making a false, like, equivalence here. By the way, if I fuck up here, but like, okay, she's 19, has a younger mind's brain, like, whatever. Should we just not let special needs people who are over the age, consensual age, have sex with people that it would be legal to do?
Well, there's two different there's two different issues going on here. So one is just the responsibility of JF as an adult that's kind of entrapping like a young child, really, which is kind of a separate argument. But to answer the first thing is, should we let special needs people be in relationships with other? Which I notice that JF tries to reframe this as, it's horrible. This means that no special needs person can be in a relationship. That's kind of up to a psychiatric evaluation, I guess. I mean, we kind of make that on that decision on a case by case basis.
But Destiny is trying to escape the reality here that if his moral judgment of me today is maintained, the reality is that anyone going out with any autistic person of any age could eventually be judged by Destiny as being wrong, even if that person is found to be non-able to consent after the actions have occurred and after the relationship has occurred, which is what happened in this case, by the way, Destiny.
Sure. So that was
violated a court order.
I'm not sure what other Destiny you're referring to, but that's not why I have moral judgment against you. My moral judgment is because you took somebody that was a child and you convinced them to move.
She was not a child.
No,
she was 19,
child,
you idiot. You're lying again. So where is this discussion headed? If you can invent terms like this.
Do you consider a 19-year-old girl that has never lived on her own or been in a relationship to be on the same mental or life experience footing as you? I'm curious. Can you just answer that as a yes or no?
I do not care about life experience. You're reframing the question for something that's totally irrelevant. I care about legal age of consent. Listen to me, Destiny.
Well, I'm not attacking you on legal age of consent.
Listen to this one,
I'm not
Destiny.
attacking you on legal age of consent.
Listen to this sentence.
All right, just go.
Okay, Destiny.
About age of consent, but okay.
I chain fucked woman of the age of 18, 19, barely legal woman on the East Coast of America between 1996 and 2017.
My man.
Non-stop. Okay? And I don't give a flying shit.
That's
Sorry.
great. You can fuck all the 18 or 19-year-old women you want. I don't really care. It's the idea of taking a 19-year-old person that compared to you, or at least, I don't know, if there are any other 28, 29-year-old guys out there, I mean, looking at I couldn't imagine dating a 19-year-old girl, let alone trying to start a family with her.
Hey, Destiny, but let me say something, because
Mhm.
we're talking about, like, you're talking, okay, you're using the word, what was the word you used? He's tricking her.
A predator to some extent, yeah.
Yeah, but you're now assuming that because she may not have the mind of a 19-year-old, even though she has had 19 years and it's consensual, what you're saying is now that if she falls in love, it's not, it doesn't count. It doesn't count that she's in love with him.
These are a set of personal views I have. Other people may or may not agree with them, but I would defend them to the death. Anybody that would tell me that they've fallen in love with somebody that they've only interacted with online, I don't think that person has a very realistic grasp of how relationships or love or anything works.
Really?
That would be my first statement. I don't think you can truly fall in love with somebody on the internet. Anybody, because you don't know somebody on the internet.
Living, but if you're on Skype every night,
doesn't matter. You don't have to deal. You don't have to deal with that person when they're at their lowest of their lows, or what it's like to live with a person with all their bad habits and everything. It's just do you have a I'm not trying to get personal. Do you have a girlfriend right now?
Yes.
Do you live with her?
Yes.
She's okay. Me now for your relationship before and after moving in with each other is going to be incredibly different, right?
We when we moved in, actually she's from Ireland, so we did like a quick move in, so she her and I can be a common law, because or else she'll be sent back to Ireland. So she's getting her from her visa to her citizenship. So we moved in like prematurely than I wanted to, but we're doing fantastic now. But yes, the first 4 months were really rough, and we had to go over a lot of, personal issues, but we're doing fantastic now. But it was really rough for the first 4 months. I won't lie.
Yeah, because when you live with somebody, it's a totally different thing. Living with somebody is different than just dating them, like visiting them every weekend or whatever. And it's much different than talking to somebody for a long time online. You can't really get a good feel of a person by talking to them online. It's just not how relationships in the real world work. So if somebody tells me that they're in love with somebody that they've been talking to online, and then they up and just leave their family with no word, and they just drive cross country, and in a few weeks are trying to create a child with this person without a financial future, without any type of financial security, yeah, there's a fuck ton of red flags there. It shows a severe lack of judgment, which is consistent with the delayed development ruling that the psychiatrist has given this young girl. It shows a severe lack of judgment on the part of both people.
So Destiny, my financial security, how safe I am in terms of finances in my life?
I don't, but the girl didn't, and that was proven in her psychiatric evaluation. Maybe you should have explained that to her before asking her to go up to North Carolina with you to make a child.
Apparently, she was intelligent enough to find a guy who wanted to care for her for the rest of his life and who had the amount of money required to survive for that long. And so go get fucked, moral fag.
Okay, so JF, why didn't she know this? Why wasn't she able to tell anybody this?
I have nothing to add. She chose to come with me. She was 19 years old and she had the right to do so. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, sure. I mean, any abuser would say the same, right? And all of his statements are consistent with that. I am the only one who could access your mind.
Any abuser breeds.
Both of you. Sorry. Hang on. I'm going to cut in here. You guys will both disagree here, and it's just going to turn into loud yelling and stuff, and it's not productive. Destiny has his point of view. JF has his point of view, and I agree with JF because she is of age. Destiny, I appreciate it, bud. I think you made your point, buddy.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to add before you leave?
I mean, like it's just like I guess it's like a life value thing. Like if you had a friend and she had, let's just assume you have a friend, or we don't have to assume, you have a friend. She's 19. She's never dated before, never had sex before. She's very, kind of shy, keeps to herself. She's lived with her parents her whole life. If she told you that she'd found a 32-year-old guy who'd been married 3 times, already has a kid with another woman, that she found this guy, she'd fallen in love with him online, and that she was going to leave her family and go up to North Carolina to live with him across the country and make babies with him, you would be like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. Good luck. That would be your response to that?
My response to that would be, maybe you're rushing it, but they're 19. but hey, they're 19. I'm sorry, Destiny, but when you're of age as an adult, you could do whatever you want. In my opinion, when you hit that age, there shouldn't be anyone that can tell you what to do, because it's the slippery slope thing where, all right, you could say this, you could stop this, you could stop this, and then in a few years' time, they're stopping things that you want to do. And in my opinion, man,
I would agree to some extent. I mean, I would discourage you from doing it, but then the mental illness thing comes in here, and apparently the court and 2 different psychiatrists disagree with JF's assertion that she had the mental ability to make these decisions.
May I tell you something too? What I think about the whole situation? I think that if she was in love with JF, which it sounds like she was, she found someone that she may never find ever again because of her mental illness. You know what I mean? Like, for special needs people to find a relationship partner who fucking love them.
I'm sure she could find tons of people that are from a foreign country that would want to knock her up to get citizenship in the U.S. No, I'm sure she could find tons of people that are into that.
Man, come on,
that want to tear her away from her family, never talk to the family, make her move cross country, move her into her house, and try to knock her up in the few weeks that she's there. I'm sure she could find a lot of older guys that would want to do that. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the peak internet moral fagging. Destiny has an opinion on what a 19-year-old girl in Texas should do.
An opinion that the court agreed with, that the state of Texas agreed with. Oof, awkward.
Things that his authority on her life is extensive enough that 3,000 people watching live should hear his point of view about her life.
And here we have JF, the 32-year-old man, thrice married, who has found true love by talking to a 19-year-old mentally disabled girl who saw him on a podcast and messaged him on Skype. And after a few months, he's determined that she is his soulmate, and he wants to ship her off to North Carolina to put a baby in her. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. What's up?
That's biology. I'm sorry you have a problem with it.
Yeah, biology.
Do you think, Destiny, that if we take away that right from that person, that's the same, like, I mean, I could use the same argument with a lot of types of people. Like,
but we do as a society. You can statutorily rape somebody that's above the age of majority if it's ruled that the person isn't mentally capable of making that decision. We also don't hold mentally retarded people as culpable in the court of law if they commit certain crimes. We already do this as society. We make these judgments to protect the people in society that need this protection the most. Yeah,
but that has to do. But that has to do with a crime or things like that. But we're talking about love.
No. Well, it's not, we're not talking about love, unfortunately. If this was just love, if this was just love, if this was just love, I honestly wouldn't care as much. It was that JF was trying to do like unstoppable damage, like permanent damage to her life by having a child with her. That's more than just love. If they were just living together or whatever, and then the father showed up, like that's an entirely different situation. It's the fact that after living with her for a few weeks, JF is trying to get her pregnant. This is a girl that's never even lived on her own before. He thinks she could take care of a kid? That's comical.
Dude, actually, now that you bring that up, it actually proves their love, or JF's love, because you said you can't fall in love on an online relationship. If JF was willing to have a baby with her, I'm assuming it's because he loved her so much that he
JF just said it's biology. He just said it's biology. He's had free
love is biology, you idiot.
He's fucked a ton of people.
Yeah, love is biology, you idiot. And when I fuck people, it's because I love them and I want to have babies with them and have a family for the rest of my life. Unfortunately, we live in an authoritarian state supported by people like you, moral fags, who keep me from doing that. I had to leave the United States because I could not have a family, a white reproductive family in the United States. So I left to fucking Canada.
This is not how healthy people start families in our society, Andy. You understand this, right? That people don't say, it is my biology, I want to make babies with everybody. This is not how a healthy, strong family is formed.
Or tell me if I'm using another false like equivalence here. Let's talk about what we've talked about before in the past. The crime stats, the ghettos, bad areas, black families that have no fathers within that family. They have like baby daddies to gather welfare, that when no father now causes this this person who may grow up to be, like a life of crime. You told me when we were debating that there's problems in our society that have caused this, but everyone should be allowed to do that, right? And that, in my opinion, not having a father figure, I think that's terrible for the child. However, they are allowed to do that, just like someone of the age of 19 should be allowed to fall in love, no matter how special needs they are.
Well, yeah, they can be allowed to do anything. I mean, in this case, it's different because of her mental disability. But I mean, we're talking moral judgment right now. That what JF is doing is definitely immoral. And this idea that he was in love with her.
How is this immoral?
Because this woman is not capable of taking care of a child. Because
he's there too, and he can help her.
Was he there for? It gets too personal at this point. I mean, like, he already has one child with another woman that he hasn't even initiated divorce proceedings with yet.
Okay,
like,
let's talk about this other woman, since you bring it up, because you seem to be suggesting that I've separated myself from this other woman. Are you aware that this other woman, I've never consented to her leaving the home while she was pregnant, leaving with our baby? Do you understand that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with this other woman too, and that she separated from me against my consent?
That doesn't matter. You need two people's consent to maintain a relationship. What does that have to do with anything?
What it has to do with anything is that I've never consented to the idea of not caring for a child. I've always wanted a united family with every single woman I've ever made love to. Now, it turns out that it's a lot of women, but it turns out that for each of these women, I was ready to live the rest of my life with them. That's something that
maybe you haven't grown. Maybe you haven't grown to.
You have this fictive scenario that you make in your head that I'm not a good father, or that I didn't want to be a father. I would have taken
You might be an amazing father. I don't know if you're a good father. I just don't think you're a good person. There's a difference.
Okay.
Whether or not,
I don't care about your moral judgment.
Well, that's fine.
I think that your future. I think that your future on the internet is as big as that of Thomas Smith.
Thank you. So the problem is that JF just admitted that he had a child with a woman who divorced him and didn't want anything to do with him. And just now, like what, a year or two later, now he's hopped into another relationship with a girl 13 years younger than him, and he's ready to have a child with her immediately. What guarantee do you have that she's not going to want the same as your ex-wife did? If you've only known her for such a short period of time.
It's not my problem if women leave their men. It's not my problem. Go yell at them, not at me.
Well, but it is kind of, because a relationship involves two people, JF. It's not just one person.
Yeah,
it takes
and
two
these
people to make a
me,
relationship.
So if you want to be morally offended, go see them and ask them why they left me.
And that's
I'm not morally offended on behalf of your ex-wife. It's that you have a 19-year-old girl.
But you saying this is like saying, oh, you've had 2 divorces, therefore don't get married or else you're immoral because the person might leave.
No, maybe not don't get married, but maybe like pump the brakes. Like, I don't think it's unreasonable to take somebody who's 32 and has been through 3 marriages to say, hey, I know that you think you're in love with this 19-year-old girl who is mentally retarded, but maybe you should wait like at least a year before trying to impregnate her. I think that's a reasonable request.
Do you think then, with that thought process, do you think that we should have some government intervention to stop people from doing this?
The government, no. Generally, no. The government intervention exists here because 2 psychiatrists ruled that she was incapable of being of the mental maturity to make these types of decisions. And everything surrounding the case points to this being an obvious yes, that reasonable people who have never lived on their own don't abandon their family and without any type of knowledge of their financial security decide to create children with a person that they've only known on the internet. It's very reasonable to assume that somebody like that doesn't have the mental faculty to make responsible decisions about their future or the future of a potential child.
Look, I used to do a voluntary work for my high school. You needed like 40 hours of volunteer work at a school for special needs people. And I worked there for a while, and I met like all ages, all spectrums and stuff. And the ones that were, of age, a lot of them, while they were very slow or couldn't talk very well, they knew what they wanted, though obviously it was like a slower process. And when I looked at them and I talked to them, I never fucking talked to them like a baby or a child, because they're of age now. And if we do that, we're treating them like retards. They're not.
It depends on the individual. Like, Andy, you're only looking at this one way, Andy. I could go down to an area with mentally disabled people. I could find a reasonably attractive 19-year-old girl who has never done anything on her own, who is too mentally, who's mentally incapable of making responsible decisions. I could give her some presents, show her that I'm a cool online guy. I could bring her back to my house and I could knock her up and make her my baby slave. That wouldn't be moral just because she's 19 years old and she's of age. If a psychiatrist,
what's the difference, though?
The difference is you rely on a.
No, not finished. What's the difference from a guy heading to a bar and buying a chick drinks and then paying for dinner and then like buying her a bunch of presents and treating her very well? It's the same fucking thing, man. It's called.
It's not, though.
Yes, it's not courting. It's called courting.
No. There's a huge difference. The difference is that you assume that the woman at the bar has it's the difference between consent versus informed consent. That the woman at the bar is a mature adult that has the mental faculty to make decisions about her future. A mentally retarded 19-year-old, that this particular one, apparently, according to 2 psychiatrists that submitted psyche evals to the state, ruled that she did not have the faculty to make this decision. The reason why we wouldn't let this 19-year-old girl do it would be the same reason why we wouldn't let a 14-year-old girl do it, because we don't think that they're mature enough mentally to make responsible decisions about their future or the future of a potential child.
And I think personally, after I worked 3 years at that place, I believe that is inhumane, in my opinion.
So you think that it should be okay that a 33-year-old person or a 32-year-old person should be able to reach out on the internet and find mentally disabled women, convince them to leave their families, even if this person isn't really capable of making responsible choices, get them into their house and knock them up as soon as possible to make children with them? You think that's an okay circumstance?
If JF wanted a child with her, look, I have fallen in love very quickly before, and I've wanted kids before, like pretty quickly. If JF wanted a kid with her, I believe that he was truly in love. And no matter how slow she may have been, she obviously wanted the exact same thing. Whether
how do you know that he was truly in love with her when he just said that he wants to make babies with every single person he fucks, and he just admitted to fucking a string of 18 and 19-year-old girls on the East Coast? It sounds like he's loved a lot of people.
Yeah, but they have left him. He's had relationship problems, or they didn't want to have a baby. I think the idea is with relationships and moving on is you always think that your next relationship is the final relationship, right? You don't go into a relationship being like, I'll probably break up with her in 2 months. No, you walk in going,
reasonable people who are responsible wouldn't meet somebody after only dating them on the internet for a few months, get with them, and then immediately try to impregnate them. That's not what a reasonable person does. This is like evidence of like some sort of mental deficit of some sort. Like, this is not healthy behavior.
No, man. What it is JF. He's 33, I believe, right? You're 33, dude.
Yep.
And I'm turning 30 in fucking 6 days? In 6 days, January 5th.
Andy,
I'm
curious.
30.
How would you feel about a 17-year-old girl doing this?
Depends on what.
Okay, how would you feel about a 15-year-old girl doing this?
Now I have a problem because this is now illegal. Because this is illegal now.
So the only thing that matters to you is the law? Let's say we get rid of the law and we're just talking morality. How would you feel about JF doing this with a 15-year-old girl?
I would be very opposed to that because I believe that a 15-year-old, that'd be more immoral, and it's disgusting in my opinion. But however, I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say, dude. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, well, her mental state is the same as a 19-year-old. But it doesn't matter because special needs people, no matter what their mental state is, because what if this girl was 30, but her mental state stayed as let's say a 14-year-old? Well, she's 30, but her mental state is still 14, so don't let her do it. No,
that's what we do. Yeah, Andy, there are people who are appointed guardians for their entire entire lives because they're not mentally capable of living on their own. And if they do live on their own, no, it's not inhumane. We do this to prevent other people from taking advantage of them. Because if you let people like this out into the world on their own, a 30 or 40-year-old person that has the mental capabilities of a 10 or 11-year-old, other people will take advantage of and exploit this person. This is why the state of Texas agreed to appoint a guardian to her. Initially, they requested a temporary one, and she was granted a permanent one because the psychiatrist felt that she wasn't capable of making responsible decisions on her own. The state of Texas assigned her that guardian because they felt that she could not make responsible decisions on her own, and it left her vulnerable. Pressured by who? She had at any point in that proceeding, she could have told the judge, no, I do not want a guardian appointed to me. She had the ability to do this throughout this entire thing. And she never, scared. Not a single time, scared. So she didn't tell the psychiatrist. She didn't tell. So like, this is what you're asking me to accept, that she secretly loved JF, okay, that she wanted to be with him, but she was scared of telling any law enforcement officer. She was scared of telling either psychiatrist. She was scared of communicating this with the judge. She didn't tell a single person. But somehow she had this secret desire, and this is somebody that's old enough and mature enough to be creating babies.
I have no more interest in interacting with Destiny on this.
All right, we're way over. Sorry about
that. Was just said. Destiny says she never left a trace that she was disagreeing. He clearly did not read the report of the psychiatrist, because clearly the psychiatrist says, whenever we ask her, she says she wants to have a baby with him, that she's in love with him, and that she wants to live her life with him. That's what's in the report of the psychiatrist.
Later she said she was scared, and that she never the guardianship.
She never said.
I don't mean to be rude, dude. I don't mean to be rude, but me and Amber are just going to keep doing our.
No, I understand. Yeah, no,
but I'd like to talk to you in the future about a certain subject. I'm going to message you about it, and I think that'd be interesting. And I understand, by the way, to people who hate Destiny right now and all that stuff, and JF obviously. I want people to understand is that I really fucking disagree with what you're saying right now. And I think it's, in my opinion, rude. However, I think no matter what things I hate about someone, there are certain things I want to talk about from other aspects. And I think that it's interesting. So yeah, man. All right. I just want you to know that. All right, dude?
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, I love you. It's been fun, dude. Final note, guys, if you're 32 years old, don't fuck 19-year-olds, okay? All right. Have fun, buddy.
You follow me on Twitter, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, sure thing.
Why aren't you following me yet? Come on, man.
I'll follow you, okay? Have fun, buddy. Okay? All right, Andy, don't date any 18-year-olds, okay? Don't try to put babies on them. It's just not right, okay? Goodbye.
Why not? Oh, my God.
He's actually talking about something that's legal. Now, one thing that really shocked me in what he said he tried to damage her permanently by creating a baby. And you see the real agenda of the left here. These people are against reproduction. This is what Destiny is against. And don't think that this is emerging out of pure random here. Destiny is an ideologue who opposes to the reproduction of the white race. He opposes to white heterosexual couples having babies. And that's what he's been arguing for here. You might have disguised this into a personal attack against me. But what he's opposed to, he believes that impregnating a woman is creating damage to society.
I'm 100% on your side, man. And I'm honestly just sick of this people treating people with mental illnesses like inhumane. It actually like disturbs me. Like even with special needs people who are like vegetables or whatever. And like for example, have I ever told you Chris, who used to film with me a lot? He used to work at the home that had the five of the most dangerous special needs people in Ontario or in Canada, actually, I believe. I'll have to ask him, but they're 6'4", fucking like really 300 pounds, and they're just violent, and they would attack and they go after him, and they use cattle prods and tackled them down because it was just like they're very violent people. I want to ask you, what's your opinion on that? Do you believe that tax money should be spent on homes like these to not put them down?
You mean on abusive homes to fix their issues?
No, I mean special needs people who are, beyond the spectrum. You know what I mean? Like they are, vegetative state, and they're violent. Do you believe that we should use tax dollars to keep homes open for them to stay alive?
Oh my God. Yeah, it's a tough one as a libertarian. I mean, yeah, you can justify it within my libertarian thinking. You could justify it as, well, maybe the amount of money you invest on them might be less costly than the potential aggression that they can cause to society in general by committing crimes or by just being costly to society. So yeah, I would say there are justifications in which I would support a collective funding of some house to keep these people in best conditions so that we don't have the problems that could emerge from them.
Same. I have the exact same viewpoint, dude. And a lot of people have gone after me like, oh my God, but they're not like productive to society. If I was born with a severe mental illness, I would hope to have the same treatment. You know what I mean? Otherwise, that's just, I'm inhumane. Whew. Anyway, do you mind if I just grab some more water?
Yeah. And let's talk with the chat while you do that.
Yeah, cool. Just 1 second.
So how did you guys enjoy this Destiny moral faggot? Oh yeah, guys, I have V sending me Skype messages, so I'm gonna read them while Andy is gone. So V says, so V was sending me these messages while I was talking with Destiny and while Destiny was doing his pill about me. So V says, wow, that Steven guy is a piece of shit. You've handled that fuck Destiny really well. Remind Destiny that he is the guy who didn't see anything wrong with the guy showing his daughter how to orgasm. Haha, his voice is shaking. He's gonna start crying. Destiny is virtue signaling like a boss. The amount of ethos and pathos from Destiny is astonishing. So those are the messages that I've received from V during the whole Destiny.
Oh, really? Oh, that was V?
Yeah, that was V.
Dude, like, I'm sorry, but he has talked about, I've talked about, I believe it's really bad when people have children with the intent that the father will eventually leave for welfare. And this is talking about, certain communities and the Black community in particular, because I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, JF, but like 70% of fathers leave. Is it that? I have to double check.
You mean leave a marriage?
Or no, I mean like not get married and then the father eventually leaves. Is it 70% or am I wrong?
It depends on what we're talking about. I don't have the data for non-married couples, but for married couples, more than 75% of divorces are initiated by women. And I want to say what I said earlier about my attitude with women is true. Every woman that I've ever known in my life, to me, as soon as I was having sex or kissing her in any way, to me, it was the woman. And as long as she didn't leave me, I would be with her for the rest of my life. I've never left a woman.
I have actually. What would be an awesome talk between me and you, dude? Our previous relationships.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
that'd be a great talk, man. That'd be awesome.
It would be an 8-hour stream.
Yeah.
24-hour stream marathon.
Yeah. Fuck.
Each of them.
All right, let's pound through all the super chats real quick. Christoph, $5. Thank you very much. Pride for one's individual achievements are wholly different from appreciating and defending the culture which allowed you to pursue your goals. Hang on, I'm gonna pound some water. 1 sec. I needed that, dude. All right, so Flanders Bowler, $5. JF, can you say Nico Knee?
Nico Knee.
Ministry of Wrong Thing, $10. White pride is on the rise because leftist schooling / media has bombarded people with victimhood-based race while simultaneously blaming white people for everything and making them a victim. Pop TV, $15. What's up, buddy? I'm too lazy to go to Patreon, so here, take my money. Thanks, bud. E-Man, $10. Andy, you're the poor man's Joe Rogan. Yeah, I'll take it. Whatever. That's fucking cool. Whatever. Poor man's Joe Rogan. I'll take it. Wild Warlock, $5. Going. Oh, here we go. You ready? Going to growing green grapes for great grocery stores. Love you, Andy.
Ooh.
You earned this $5. You know, I was practicing
my unit. It's again.
Yeah. OG Bogey 50 sec. Spook Heil motherfucker. Educated infidel $5. Sticks El Papa de los Helados is still waiting for Sticks plushie. Make it happen. Isaiah 1020 $1 for any inch. For every inch. Rogue Chihuahua $5. Just a reminder that you said that the Kumite would you would unban everyone. I know I've been trying to. All right, so it's a long process. At least unban at something stupid. All right, ASAP. He was unbanned. He was banned during the roast. Okay, cool. Pug Nasty $5. JF, I've been a fan of you since your first DP appearance. Glad you're doing great on YouTube. P.S. Great job on that mouthy Buddha video.
Old school motherfuckers.
Fuck
Remember
yeah.
my rap song against G-Man? If you don't remember, our new fags.
A Sergeant Sniper $2. Make Sticks shrimp pilled. TGRX 85 $5. A Destiny versus Richard Spencer. When? Oh, that'd be interesting. A Rogue Chihuahua $5. You said at something stupid to email you. Yeah, dude, I got like over 100 emails, dude. I'm trying my best to keep up. I have no fucking help on this right now, all right? So I'm trying, okay? Alex W, $5. Never forget, Jeff Holiday himself said that Aiden Paladin was brainwashed. Wow. Lord Thurwalks, £5. If you like teal deer, you should consider having Thinking Ape on. He's a very intelligent thinker and he's very black-pilled. Sure. The Memes of Destruction, $5. Free speech event in Boston 2018. Max Friends, £2. Can at Rosa D Angry a unicorn have a wrench? Okay, I'll try to do that next time. Sorry. Woke Center Left, $5. JF, doesn't race mixing promote a genetic diversity, which is objectively a good thing for any species, as opposed to inbreeding, which causes defects?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. It depends on whether you should look at the species level. So yes, diversity at the species level may be a key to having the right genes. If some unprecedented event happens in the future, your population will be more ready to handle it. But let's not forget that this is a thinking that biology doesn't work this way. Biology doesn't care about keeping species alive. It cares about keeping you and your babies alive. And so, yes, your thinking is right in terms of species, but that's not how we evolve. We evolve to survive and reproduce ourselves.
Very interesting. Oh, and by the way, JF, because I know it's getting later, if you ever have to like run, just let me know, okay?
Yeah, generally I'm available at a certain time, but I'm always available later. So there's no point at which I have to run typically. All
right, perfect, man. And I want to talk to you for 5 minutes after the show.
Yep.
If you want. $100 Canadian. Whoa. Message retracted. Oh, okay.
Some good Canadian money.
Yo, I'm very sorry. I fucking missed that, dude. I apologize. Jesus Christ, sorry, man.
I had read the message. I don't remember the message, but I did read it, and I appreciated it.
You guys, man, like honestly, what we have planned in the future, you guys are making this fucking happen right now, and we are reinvesting this fucking money right into the show. So one day we won't be the poor man's Joe Rogan.
We'll be the Chad. Joe Rogan Virgin podcast versus Chad and
Oscar Francois de Jarges 420. I love Sticks. JF is Bay and gay meme debate Aiden. Dick Fingers $10. Sticks, you nignog. When are you going to invest in sneak and gunsmithing in your shitty Fallout build? Try stabbing people in the neck for once. I love Fallout. Flanders Bowler $2. Can you do an episode on our Traps gay debate? That's a great idea, actually.
Oh yeah.
That's a great
I'll
idea.
tell you the answer right away. Not all traps are gay. We've actually theoretically extrapolated that there were a special type of traps that are not gay.
Really?
No, we didn't observe them yet, but our theories are predicting their existence.
What? Okay, wait, that blew me away. All right, we're gonna definitely have to dissect that ASAP.
Yeah, we need
What?
another stream.
Yo, I'll get like a trans person on. I'll try to set that up and we'll talk about that for sure. What? Some traps? All right. That's interesting. Jessica Ustas, $5. Stream reminder that Destiny wants to bomb Mexico. And I don't think he said that ever. Maxwell Bear, $5. Tim Wise openly advocates for the extinction of white people. He is a regular contributor on CNN. What? Why is that okay? Who? Fucking Tim Wise?
I don't know about this one in particular, but I know that there are some big Twitter ads of the left that are literally saying if you make white babies, you are part of the problem. I've seen that from Jesse NYC, who is a professor of sociology, I believe. So
Disgusting.
it is a discourse that currently occurs on Twitter.
Fucking disgusting. I'll search him up after. Whoa, another $100 like right now. Whoa, Dave on duty, $100. Wow. What can I say? A Destiny sure is vindictive when on the losing side of a debate. I love the new format. Andy, keep it going. By the way, I only had like 2 people missing the old videos that messaged me. Everyone else is like, do this. Hans Furry, 20 SEK, 10.3 inches. Leo Ridestorm, $5. I'm at my mom's and she won't let me watch the stream. Here's $5 though, Andy. I'm looking forward to catching it later. I love you. Thank you guys so fucking much, man. Dick Fingers, $10. Layman, I disagree. There are more. Oh God, here's a word I don't know. Virulent, VIRULENT. Virulent followers here. There are more virulent. Okay, what's that word mean?
Oh well, it means like they are viral. They behave like a virus, a little excited and a little invasive.
That's my word of the day. I get at least a little bit smarter every stream. If an internet is open and feedback is open, you offer an offense that even if comments are closed, you damage them. 803 Brando, $5. Thank you very much. A Finner Frust, $2. Quebec is the only redeeming part of Canada. Gabriel Lopez, 10R. I gotta correct JF here. The chat is officially called the Warski Ghetto. Yeah. So when we're talking about the chat, it's called the Warski Ghetto.
Earlier, okay? I called them the poor section of the chat. The plebs chat.
I'm actually in a
but I want to be clear. You guys are the poor section of the chat, but I respect you guys. You guys are just different from the super chatters. You're not inferior.
You know what we should do one day, man? Have a stream where we answer the actual chat and it's just me and you. That'd be interesting. Dick Fingers, $5. Just, by the way, Dick Fingers, you've donated so much the last few days. Thank you so much. $5. Andy Worski's Aaron Paul in witness protection, except less viewers. Fuck off, dude. White Slave, $5. JF and Andy, when's your free speech therapy clinic opening? Hopefully soon. Flanders Bowler, $5. JF, what is your stance on genetically engineering cat girls for domestic ownership?
If they don't have any feelings, I guess I would have to agree that they are some sort of computer robots that you can do anything you like with them.
Interesting. Black D Dragon, €5. Better internet. I heard that 1 year ago on Warski Live. Still waiting. I know. Please. I'm sorry. Jesse James, $5. Sent you that email, Andy. Let me know what you think. But we really need to figure out all the pitfalls of Kilroy. Come on, JF. Join the G unit. I think. By the way, we've covered Kilroy enough. It's been destroyed. Watch Mr. Medicare's 3rd part video on it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's way worse than I thought, by the way. Black D Dragon, €2. I support the idea to genetically enhance humans. What do you think about that? Okay, you know what? Let's do a fucking whole thing on that. I have a lot of things to say about that. Right-wing BDSM guy, $2. Is the a communist burn the Bible 666? No, it's someone else. Rachel Loretto, $5. Give people with disabilities a chance to talk and answer questions and show what we can bring to the table. I love the show. That'd be awesome. Having someone with special needs on here, that'd be very interesting, actually. And I don't think people give them enough credit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, man. Anyone have autism or any other disability, Down syndrome, or if anyone knows of someone who wants to be on the show, we'll obviously be very polite. Just andywarski@gmail.com. Mountain Man Mike, $5. JF, wouldn't gene editing be the ideal solution to the I'm stuttering now. A colonization of space? Ugh. Colonization. God damn it. Sorry, I'm stuttering that bad. Sorry.
I'm not sure that gene editing for colonizing space will be the fastest way. Evolution in space. Now, once you make a spaceship, you need multiple generations on the spaceship, and I think there would be evolutions on whoever we put in that spaceship. But I don't think we would go for gene editing. I think what we would go for is developing technology, developing a spaceship that can maintain itself. For the rest, I guess what we would want is like the movie Biodome. We would want a stable system inside the spaceship. And by the way, I will take my most controversial position ever taken on the public space. Pauly Shore was the best American actor ever.
Oh, by the way, we just got a $50 donation. Thank you, Quebec. Thank you so fucking much. Digging up dirt on.
Quebec has been a fan of me for many months, as far as I can tell, maybe years.
Mad respects, dude. Digging up dirt on people and spinning it to humiliate them because they can't deal with the arguments is low. Let me dedicate this to JF as a middle finger to destiny. Fucking straight the fuck up, dude. And let's go Celtic Tiger, $5. I wish JF on gene editing anytime. Hit me up on Twitter at Celtic_Tiger with 2 R's. By the way, I love space. I love rockets. I love all that shit. I want to do an episode on space. Fuck yeah. Dick Fingers, $5. Andy, this is the fucking mistake on your part as facilitator. And what's that? Having Destiny on, I think he's going to say. Were you? Did you find that rude of me, by the way?
Oh no! Personally, I was fine with him. When I say I'm fine, I'm not under pressure. I've decided that I would talk about this subject on the public space because I know that it's something. Do you know, Andy, how many people are going through probate hearing? What my love went through in this story. There are hundreds of thousands of these requests being done by parents to take over the rights of their children who are now adult every year in the US. So the reason I'm talking about all this, and I'm fine that we're bringing it here, is that there are violations of individual rights of people who are judged as mentally disabled, but who think otherwise. And we should listen to them. That's all I'm saying.
I totally agree with you, man, on that. And maybe we should do a whole episode on that. Maybe just get some therapists in or something and talk about that stuff. That'd be cool. The Canuck, $10. Andy, talk to Josephine about Free Bird Media and our bud Alex Van Ham, who can tell you about a lot of the events on the ground in Toronto, including Peterson's events in the last year. He's legit. Check it. Really? Okay. I will do that. Thank you. Hang on, let me just write that fucking shit down. All right. Right. Thank you. Flanders Bowler, $5. Andy, I morally feel obligated to support you bringing him in, but please don't let him get too far on this. It can't be easy on JF. And what I have to say is, though it is uncomfortable, JF and I want a free speech platform, and if Destiny started attacking him with ad homs constantly, I would have booted him immediately. And Destiny did respect when I asked him to stop talking. So that's the way I'm gonna run it. And JF, if you're ever uncomfortable, just let me know. All right.
Yep, I was all good, so that's why I accepted it.
Perfect. Facta non verba, $5. Ask Destiny how he used to beat his baby's mama, which he admitted to. What? I'm not. Don't take that. All right. Don't believe that. I'm not gonna believe that. Sorry. I can't believe that right now. I have to see evidence. Dick Fingers 5. You can't do that on a super chat, guys. You can't do that on a super chat. All right. Dick Fingers $5. In your own words, you fucking idiot. You asked if pedophilia was wrong and incest as well on stream, and that's what I brought up. Bearded Truth $5. This cuck is white knighting. Imagine my fucking shock. I don't know who you're talking about. Sorry, Bearded Truth. Dick Fingers $20. It's donated. Fucking Dick Fingers. Holy shit, man. He was bad at Destiny and he threw it out. Eat shit. Cynet FM $10. I'm not gonna read your thing, buddy. Look, if it's threats like that or really disturbing things, I will not say that. Thank you for your $10. You can watch the show, but do not super chat shit like that. Thank you. And it's not about free speech. It's about saying something about murdering people. So these nuts $5. A Destiny can't stop molesting children, but it's in his favor. Dating an adult is wrong. Pop TV $5. I used to work for California in the special needs area, and as long as she wasn't legally conserved, JF did nothing wrong. I agree with that. Hang on, where the fuck? Holy fuck, man.
Lots of super chat.
Let me just pound some more water. Holy fuck, dude. Again, if you have to leave, dude, just let me know.
No, I'm enjoying this, but I'll take a 30 seconds break. So read some and I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Please do. Guys, holy fuck, man. You guys are fucking amazing. This is awesome. It's like a radio show at this point. We do like the first 2 hours on the topic. At the end, we chat with you guys and we do this. I hope you like it. And people were like, oh my God, 5-hour streams. It's like we're having a fucking blast. You put on your earbuds, fucking clean your house, fucking do your thing. Enjoy. You don't have to listen to the whole thing. And we'll clip the best parts from it. Starting on January 4th. We're going to do that, okay? Down, forward punch, $5. Another allegation. Can't read this, man. Like, honestly, like, dudes, if I say something like this on a live show, you are risking me being sued or something like that. So I can't do that. I'm sorry. Ragnar Alferhurt, $10. Are we going to self-euthanize the population? Are they not allowed to have kids? As well as are they not privy to families and life? Who are you to say no to love? Advocating genetics, genocide, Destiny. That's exactly what I was bringing up, buddy. Thank you very much. Maxwell Bear, $5. What does this have to do with race realism, Destiny? Wasn't that your debate with JF? No, we were not talking about that. We're past race realism. We're gonna keep moving on to different subjects.
Yeah, race realism has been summarized in a 6-minute video on Marty Buddha's channel, and it's the last word on race realism.
Yo, that video, man. Hang on, is that his like CG animation and stuff?
Oh yeah, I mean, this guy, I don't know if he just learned by himself or if he's in the Hollywood industry, but he's essentially editing like a professional trailer editor. That's Marty Buddha. He's very good at it.
Incredible. Everyone go subscribe to him. A Predator Games, $5. I guess different races shouldn't date because the IQ gulf is too much, right, Destiny?
Passive aggressive.
Mitchell Harrington, $5. So when do agree? I suppose when do you agree someone is no longer a child if someone is 25, I said that exact line, remember? If someone is over 25 and never stopped living at their parents' house or worked a job still. Yeah, I brought up what if that person was 30 years old, but like the mental state was the same? So, okay, just ban them from dating forever? Fuck that, no. Dick fingers, $5. Hey,
Andy, is my microphone improved now?
It's fucking awesome. Yeah, now that you bring it up.
Dude, you let me speak on my bad microphone for hours without telling me. All I had to do is click on a little thing for the other microphone, the good one, for you to hear it.
No, it sounds very similar. I thought you meant from like the previous streams. Hey, do me a favor, man. I'm gonna put it on screen share, and if you can read some super chats.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, just one sec, dude. Okay. Let me go on screen share here. I'll be as quick as fucking possible. All right, there we go.
All right. So I start at the top, or?
Oh, actually, hang on, dude. Let me just stop sharing for 1 fucking second here. Let me just drag this here so no one sees the link. And I'm going to present myself. Open up monitor 2. How's that?
Okay, and where do I start? Is it dick fingers?
From the top. Oh, yeah, from the top. Yeah. Actually, is it that one? Yeah, from dick fingers.
All right.
I'll be fast. 1 sec.
So when do agree someone is no longer a child? If someone is 25 and never stopped living at their parents' house or worked a job, still a child. Yeah, I think that it was clear from that Destiny segment that he was trying to make up excuses like she's not ready, she's 19, she never lived outside of our house. And by the way, one fact that was mentioned on the chat and that I didn't mention while Destiny was here, this woman who was in love with me had a driver's license. So the state considers her to be intelligent enough to make decisions, to go around without any sort of supervision. But suddenly, when she falls in love and wants to reproduce, the state intervenes. That tells me something about how our society works. So Dick Fingers, $5, says, Destiny, I agree. If we allowed special needs people to be in a relationship, you wouldn't be allowed alone. Wait your fucking kids. All right, okay, so Dick Fingers was representing a statement, a fictive statement by Destiny. Larry Steele, $5. Your personal views are as irrelevant as a Christian believing in the Bible. Lol. The on edge there. Hi, I'm Burb. 5. What is this? What is this little sign? Is this $1 from Australia or something? Reminder, Destiny was the guy who didn't see anything wrong with a guy showing his daughter how to orgasm. Viral Bunny, 5. Australian weird dollar. Destiny, he basically got turned down on every dating site ever. This is where his view stems from. We could call it the Destiny jealousy hypothesis. Larry Steele, $5. Also, I would love to see Destiny critique older black men who impregnated 15-year-olds, lol, on moral grounds. Yeah, I think that Destiny contradicted himself in this debate compared to previous statement by him. SSGT Sniper, $10. I was 31, she was 19, it was her ID. I told her people would judge us. She didn't care. I wanted to marry her. Her parents talked her out of it. Am I a rapist? Well, what you described there is actually exactly what happened to me, except that her parents didn't talk her out of it. They intervened in court to stop her from following her own desires.
Cool. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. The phone rang and I had to I'll talk to someone. John Smith, $5. Destiny can suck it. My wife and I met online years ago, got married, and still happy. Yeah, honestly, he's like, thanks, MySpace. Yeah, online dating is fucking fine. And if you don't think so, then you're living in the past. Vatalis IG, $5. Hey, Destiny, when are you going to talk about your daughter and how incest is A-okay? he never defended or said incest was okay. He just hasn't found an argument against it besides a morality issue, which is funny that he's judging fucking JF for that. Rachel Loretto, $5. Please don't judge people with disabilities based on one's personal experience. Facto Nonverba, $5. Destiny is a vindictive fucker. Don't have him on again. He is toxic as fuck. I know what you're saying, but hey, man, everyone's allowed. Leo Ridestorm, $5 New Zealand. I fell in love with my 19-year-old boyfriend online. I'm 29. We've been together for a year now, and I'm his first girlfriend. And also, I want to say to that point is that people sometimes aren't extroverted, right? And they feel more comfortable finding people online, and you might find someone that you'd never find in your area. I'm Mitchell Harrington. Oh, dating. We should do dating on one show. Anyway, $5. Nothing but interrupting and virtual signaling from Destiny. Bearded Truth, $5. Sounds like Destiny also likes to use people's personal information against them. Remind you of anyone? I fucking hate that. I hate that. Viral Bunny, 10 pounds. All right, take out the adult status. Was there any proof that she was mentally incapable from her growing up, or did she just appear for the court case, answer that, and drop this BS? I think JF explained himself very well. Yeah. Flanders Bowler, $5. My $10 super chat didn't appear, even though I have a receipt for it. I am so fucking sorry. He said 5 minutes. Please end it. I'm very sorry about that. Next time I'll be more observant, but I think it was an interesting debate, in my opinion. Dick Fingers, $10. Destiny is immoral because he constantly deflects from his own failures. Destiny is raising someone else's child, beckoning the question of incest and pedophilia. Mitchell Harrington, $5. Holy fuck. Oh my God. You can't move on after 2 years. CS, $5. Destiny, I was this close to killing him and his father, now lecturing JF on how to be a good person. Again, I can't.
That's a quote from Destiny. Destiny has admitted on the public space that he planned a murder when he was young. Whoa. But didn't execute it.
Hopefully he's learned from that lesson. Oh, Jesus. Ash, hang on just one sec. JF, I'm gonna screen share. Just read the next.
You can keep sharing the screen.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna screen share for 1 second. I'm gonna write something to you privately in the chat, and just keep reading, and I have to write you something privately. All right?
Okay.
We are right over on Bearded Truth.
All right, Bearded Truth, $2. Destiny follow fags trying to throw chat. Bob Chandler, $5. Nothing to say, just the cash. Viral Bunny, 10 bizarre dollar. JF, how dare you decide when you have a relationship? You should have asked a guy who never knew existed first when you're allowed and who you are allowed to have it with. SMH. Yeah, that's essentially. I felt when Destiny was on there, I felt that he was telling me that we were back in the time where the priest would go in your house and they would be like, "Oh, you just have 7 babies? What are you waiting for the 8th one?" It's like, okay, we've kicked religion out. We don't need Destiny in. If her father was abusing her, it is more reasonable that she tried to escape her family. Unvarnished void, $5 US. In fact, without knowing any detail of the case, you've guessed an important element of that story, which is that this lady didn't feel happy with her father. Gabriel Lopez, $10. New rule, everyone. 1 year before trying to make a baby with a partner, can we officially state that there is nothing liberal about progressives? Yeah, it seems that the enthusiasm that they had about sexual liberation, it seems that we've reached the end of it, right?
100% actually, yeah.
$5. Destiny impregnated a fat ham beast and ended up as a single dad. He preaches about strong families but doesn't have one. I don't know about this. I cannot comment. Psychotic cognition, $5 US. Family advice from the incest advocate. Dick fingers. Dick fingers. By the way, that's a nice name. I think I could rename. I could rebrand myself as Dick fingers. $5 US. You heard it here. Destiny is a bootlicker because 2 psychiatrists from Texas ruled in his favor. Kill yourself, Destiny. Seriously, exit bag kid. I hope you were joking there.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to read our private chat, and I could just keep going.
All right, keep going.
Jessica Ustas, $5. Was JF charged with any sexual crime? No. Okay then get him off the stream. This isn't fucking Maury. Destiny is just being an ass hurt loser cunt.
Oh God.
But again, though,
be sad, Andy, if you were to become the Maury show of the internet. Let's all try to avoid this.
Yeah, 100%. But I'm interested in human psychology, and I love just seeing different thought processes and how people react to certain things. So you read all right, cool. And $5. This girl was able to drive, but according to Destiny, mentally incapable of making decisions on who she wants to have a relationship with. Bob Chandler, $5. Destiny knocked up a fat broth hog. His baby mama is fucking disgusting. Look her up. He's never slept with an attractive woman. All right, guys, let's just settle down there, buds. White Slave, $5. JF, high sexual energy. Destiny, not so much. Can you have Destiny stand up where he speaks? Stand up when he speaks to you. # long stilts. Reinhard or die trying, £5. Destiny doesn't understand that we are all human, even the mentally impaired. Andy is completely right. Thank you very much. Edwin Boyette, $5. How did the young lady's parents feel about JF before she left Texas? Did you meet the parents before the girl moved across the country?
I tried, and it was heartbreaking for this girl because her parents were refusing the concept of her having a boyfriend, and they didn't want to meet me. And the only time they were interested in talking to me was when she decided on her own, and in fact against my counseling, because I told her, you shouldn't just disappear. You should at least leave them a trace to say, I'm going there. So I've actually convinced her to leave a trace and say, yes, I'm leaving to go live with this guy. But no, they refused to talk to me at all points. They just talked to me the day they wanted her back, and they wanted to essentially kidnap her. That's why they entered my home.
Fucked, man. That's fucked. Elusive Lady Cat, $2. Oh, sorry. Mitchell Harrington, $5. Neither of you are going to find a common ground. This has grown pointless, and yeah, I tried moving it on, so that worked. Elusive Lady Cat, $2. Stop acting like women have no facility, you asshat. Sergeant
Very
Sniper.
Important.
Yep, 100%. And if you're a liberal, man, you should be liberal even for the special needs. Sergeant Sniper, $5. Destiny, you are as progressive. You as a progressive want to suddenly listen to anyone from Texas, the most non-progressive state ever. Go fornicate yourself. Sorry, I need more water, dude. Oh my God. Like I'm stuttering more because my mouth is so dry from talking. Sorry, buddy. If you want to keep going. Sorry, my bad, brother.
All right, let's keep reading. Duncan Massive. Oh, that's a true Australian. There's an A there. $5. Destiny can't have sex without it being statutory rape because of his own mental state. Coop, US, $5. Great show, Andy. Here's $5 for you to tell Destiny to get off the Adderall and go fuck himself. Wild Warlock. Nice YouTube icon. $5. Andy, please stick with IDs rather than personal history and actions. We all have skeletons. You end up attacking who rather than what, how, and when. Yeah, but I think that Andy's explanation on this is satisfactory. He's interested in the truth of human psychology, and he thinks that the stories that happen reveal stuff about human nature.
Yeah, man. If you want to just read it a bit more so I could just take a break from reading.
All right. So Boomchucks US $2. Never bring Destiny back. Mitchell Errington $5. Every time you have Destiny on, he's just an asshole to the other people you have on. I like the Spikeman $10 US. What the hell is wrong with getting pregnant young? Good question. My grandmother had her first child at 18, my mother at 19. Why did Steven say to not impregnate a 18-year-old?
Yeah,
That is a totally modern requirement that never existed in the past, and it didn't exist for my ancestors. Lizard King, $5. Andy, show us your ass.
On the
Andy,
next episode when I have the webcam working.
yeah, and $5 for Ash show is I mean, on the streets, it's higher than this. I will tell you this, Lizard King, you are not at the mark. You don't meet the offer and demand. You know that point where the transaction occurs. It's even higher than this. Tenebrous Anima 5 what? 5 pounds. Destiny does not care about any of this. He is a blatant liar and manipulator. He is dragging up personal history to distract us like Crowd tried to. Frank T, $5. I love you, Andy, but defending a predator like JF is sad. Notice how there's nothing in that story that makes me a predator, and I've never been found by any court to be a predator. Sinatra says US $2. Single motherhood in the black community is 60 to 70%. Yeah, and I have to say that when we were discussing this with Andy, Tara McCarthy has been sending me through Skype some references, which I will read. But that reference, for example, was citing a 72% of African-American births out of wedlock. I have to verify these information, but thank you for the message. Boo Burley, $5. Andy, can you please unban Agnosis Paradigm and ask JF to say cake the oven? All right, let's try.
Wait, Agnosis I'm sure banned?
Yeah,
who is banning Paradigm. All these motherfuckers? Who's banning all these people that I like? What the fuck is going on here, guys? I should just remove all the moderators and talk to people, do a private chat, and then moderate people who I trust, because I'm pissed about this shit. Trust me.
All right, now I'm sure she wants a cake the oven, so I will say it with the H. Cake the oven. Elzrazor Klaxon, Elzrazor Xalon 10. $5 Canadian, like maple syrup. $5. Hey Andy, did you see the new Canadian Navy supply ship docked in Halifax?
No, I have not. I'll check it out.
Rain hard or die trying. £10, one for both of you. What is your opinion on the removal of responsibility for crimes committed by mentally impaired people and the adjustment of sentences? Can't remember the legal term, sorry. Yeah, so lots of people, especially in Canada, the number is much higher in percentage in Canada. A lot of people are found incompetent to be found guilty of a crime. So there was a case of a doctor, so someone very intelligent in Quebec, killing his 2 children, and just explaining to the jury, well, I just blacked out and I lost control. And they actually found that there was justification for him not to be found criminally guilty. Just because he argued that he was not controlling his actions. So that's a trend in Canada, very worrying in my view.
I hate that,
Yeah, I don't think that courts should look to intent that much. I understand that intent is important if you want to distinguish an accidental action from a desired one. So for example, if you hit someone with a car, maybe that person dies. I understand that this is not murder. But to claim that someone who took a knife and planted it in someone else's body and says, oh, he just reacted automatically, I'm against it most of the time.
Yeah, and I think that if someone does that and they have special needs, that is still a danger to our society. And like I just said with JF's case, we should treat them the way we treat everyone else, and maybe not jail, but like an institution or something like that. in my opinion.
Sir Greggings de Florida, $5 US. Destiny needed to answer for the fact that he never actually met this young woman, and I'm surprised JF didn't mention it. Oh, absolutely. There are lots of things I don't mention because I know that the internet and I know that the audience we have is extremely intelligent. Viral Bunny, £5. ND, please unban Agno. Okay, that's the same thing.
100%.
He's been proven by YouTube scientists to be mentally retarded. So it wasn't his fault.
That won't get old anytime.
Gabriel Lopez, $10. Aren't gay traps actually straight? Well, that's too confusing. You just bugged my brain. I think I'll have to think about it for a month. Dave on duty, $100 Canadian. What can I say? Destiny sure is vindictive when on the losing side of a debate. Love the new format, Andy. Keep it going. I love it.
Fuck.
Preston Scott, $2 based mama for Gitmo 2018. Fuck that bitch. Well,
Scam artist.
You're very rude to her. I agree with you that she failed, but I wouldn't call her a bitch. All right. Quebec, $50. Digging up dirt on people and spinning it to humiliate them because you can't deal with the arguments is low. Let me dedicate this to JF and as a middle finger to Destiny. Yeah. Kenny,
if you
FFG.
want, I'll do a few and we'll switch up.
Yeah, go for it.
Break. Ken FG, $5. Yeah, I am Viral Bunny on Ben Agnos. He's a stand-up guy. I know him. He's awesome. And YouTube scientists approve of his testosterone is dripping daily while he was banned. I'm so sorry about that, guys. I'm very sorry. Mitchell Harrington, $10. Rum, Bioshock, and JF plus Andy stream. It's a good night. Thank you for giving me something to watch after the Kumite. And yeah, actually, people were emailing me. They love just putting on headphones and just letting it go and enjoying it. So that's awesome. Flowers Bowler, $2. Literally everyone on this show has been autistic. Esther Jamar, Jamdar, $2. Get Chris Chan on Andy to talk about his love quest. Yeah, that'd be awesome. CS, $2. JF, favorite novelist.
I don't read much novels. I think that my favorite books are from scientists. I like Richard Dawkins. I like E.O. Wilson. They tell the story of truth. And to me, those are my novels.
Awesome. Badass Bab, £5. Everything Destiny said on the stream will be used against him in the future. The internet never forgets. JF, do you prefer frog legs or snails?
I love both, but I love snails more. It's a higher level food.
A notorious Pepe 2, $10. It's true many prominent Jewish professors, rabbis, and leaders have called for the extermination of the white race through immigration, like Tim Wise and Barbara Specter. I have to check. I'll have to research that. So I wrote it down, by the way. So yeah, cool. Arkenes Enbrecht, $5. Thank you. Kenjel Erling Budal, 50 knock. Destiny is pro-eugenics like the National Socialists. Both are trying to stop mental handicapped people from having children. Gabriel Lopez, $10. Unbanned. Yeah, will do, man. First thing I'm going to do after the fucking stream, after I speak to JF, sorry. CF, $2. Andy, put these streams on Apple Podcast. We are actually working towards a podcast format as well, for people who want to download it and hear it on the road. So don't you worry. The and for basis, $2. I love the new format, Adam. Thank you very much. Ivy Sparks, $10. $10. Please, JF, come bar hopping in Phoenix with Andy in April. You should, man.
Oh God, I will have to take the plane and everything.
Dude, we'll chill, man. That'd be fucking awesome. We could do a fucking Warski live there, man.
Man, I love the idea. I'll try everything for it to happen, but I cannot promise it right now.
All right. I'm Mitchell Harrington, $5. I blame the rum on any really bad typos I have had. Oh, and by the way, the more I talk and the more I go and my mouth gets dry, the more I stutter. So I apologize, by the way. A Flanders Bowler, $5. That was very enthusiastic. Nico, JF. I feel I now need to ask you, Who is the best girl in Love, Live, and why is Maki Nishikinio?
I have no idea who these things are, but I will Google it.
Sir Greggins de Florida, $10. I would like to ask JF if he's willing to replace the racial elements of race realism in exchange for culture for a cultural element. Is race the determining factor in terms of example, a criminality, or is it culture?
Well,
Actually,
I'm willing to. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say that I have that written down for a future show about crime, and I'd love to do that in a more expanded format. But right now, like, it's like this is like what, like a 4-hour podcast right now.
Yeah.
So
But I'll say that, yeah, I'm willing to consider cultural influences on behavior, but I will note that cultures can be exchanged quickly. For example, there's lots of Native American genes right now, even in my body. I mean, part of my ancestry was Native American, but I live in a culture that is mainly Western European. And so that's just a sign that sometimes the genes, they will fit into a culture that they haven't invented. And that's what you need to take into account, which is culture is exchangeable, genes aren't. And so genes provide explanations for stuff that can last hundreds of thousands of years. Typically, culture tend to evolve much faster.
awesome. The Boogie, $5. 26-year-old Aspie Neat here. Glad to see Destiny think so highly of people like me. Oh, what's neat?
Neat means neither employed or in education or training. It means that it's someone who's at home and doesn't do much with his life.
Oh, true. Governor Wallace, $5. Have Destiny back on and discuss the merits of national socialism and segregation. Yeah, we can do that. A secret genius, $2. JF, how would the humans enslaved by AI behave? And I'd rather save that for the AI discussion because that's going to be unpacked very slowly. Todd McKinley, $5. JF, could you please say Todd McKinley is one of the most intelligent and well-respected YouTube scientists of our generation? Thanks.
Todd McKinley is one of the most intelligent and well-respected YouTube scientists of our generation.
Please tell me he makes a video where it's just retarded and then he starts with that clip. Anime is the way, haha. $5. Andy, I love you, but damn, someone with a mental capacity of a 10-year-old cannot give consent, period. After such outrage with Amos, it's fucked. Again, if she was 30, 40, 50, are we going to ban her from ever being in a relationship? No. Down, forward punch, $5. When Destiny has sex, he needs a stepladder. Ooh, burn, shade. Joe Cracker, $5. You said you wanted to have kids with all the women you slept with. Are there 1,000 little JFs running around America?
No, because they've refused. Evidently, they decided not to reproduce with me.
All right. Nicholas Danka, $2. Never bring that cuck back on, please. I like the headbutting too. It's interesting. This is not a circle jerk stream, and I think most people appreciate that. The Guardian, $5. Andy, I sent you and JF both the videos backing up the statement JF said about the planning to murder a child. JF said
he's talking about the allegation of Andy, the allegation of Destiny planning a murder. He sent us the link to the video for accuracy. Thanks, The Guardian.
All right, we'll check it out after, man. Mr. Thundero, $2. You banned him, Andy, not us. Did I? What did he do? Okay, you know what? We'll start fresh. I'll unban everyone, mod everyone, and then we'll play it from there. I'm very sorry. Kenneth G, $5. Andy, you banned Agnosis Paradigm. Settle down there. Really? I love that guy. I don't know why. I'm so sorry. I'll fix that. I apologize. Mike Seppi, $5. No one sees a problem with having 7 charges up against you. I fucked 50 women. I never had any. None of my friends ever had charges, fake or real.
Well, Mike, you've not fucked any woman to reach my threshold, dude. Keep working.
A viral bunny, $5. Andy's radio show is funded by CNN. Confirmed. Fake news spreading. Freya knows is not all mods. I'm very sorry. I'll fix that. Black D Dragon, $5. €5. If you're a guy and you fucked a woman that is dressed up as a trap, are you gay or straight? If you want to just read the last ones real quickly. I refuse to
picture it in my head.
I have to pee so bad. All right, just
okay, I will keep reading. So, Black D Dragon, your question is so morally revolting. I refuse to even simulate the idea in my head. Dank Nugs, MD, $2. Jeff, I want that high energy Alex Jones voice. All right, people. We are receiving information from our informers inside the government, confirming that essentially they've been trying to modify people. The goal of the what was it? What would he say? Oh yeah, here's what he would say. The goal of the globalist agenda is to create a non-reproductive cosmic being. I guess that's what I can generate right now. Oh, it's tough on the throat to do Alex Jones. Tougher than I thought. Please, Ghetto, don't send pointless super chats just to ruin Andy's voice. It's rude and hilarious. CS, $2 US. Could libertarianism cause a loss of national identity? Absolutely, there are forms of libertarianism that are so individualistic that people forget even about the probability, the usefulness of a border. But I will say that, as Andy said, I believe in a previous show, in the reality of the world, you will need borders even to preserve a space of freedom. American Chunk, $10. Destiny did say he wants to go to war with Mexican cartels in the debate with Mitokur. He also said he has no problem with his neighbor physically abusing his dog.
What?
Debate with vegan gains. Yes, that one I remember. That was Destiny trying to, sometimes you hold principles and you want so much to hold to these principles that you end up saying stupid stuff when you look at it globally. But just because you are so attached to making your point, you make the error. I think that's what Destiny did. Whether he thinks it's an error or not, that's his stuff. But I think it was Destiny Extreme Autism showing up here. Black D Dragon, €5. Euros. I don't know about these units. Andy, can I?
Oh wait, hang on. We finally found one thing that I know that you don't. There we go.
Yeah, exactly. Andy, can I send you some questions on the topic of AI? Yes, I'm sure Andy wants to receive them.
Please do. Please do.
And Roche, by the way, has just been named moderator in my Discord server, and he's been doing a good job. £5. Destiny, a 30-year-old who likes the way a 16-year-old's arse jiggles when he's supposed to be her friends, suddenly a moral fag. It's quite an experience to be moral fagged by Destiny. I really enjoyed it. Flandres Bowler, $2. To both of you, what was the best episode of Seinfeld? I don't know. I don't know this show.
I love the last episode. It's fucking a beautiful episode where everyone they had a problem with in the entire series puts them in jail. And they go through almost every episode of where they fucked up, and they all head to jail. Probably one of the coolest series endings of all time, in my opinion.
Now, a brunette girl is asking me, $5. Can you say the 14 words in French? So let me Google. The 14 words is: we must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children. So in French, that would be: nous devons sécuriser l'existence de notre peuple et un futur pour les enfants blancs.
Beautiful. Gabriel Lopez, $5. Hey, JF, How can we make the frogs straight again?
Oh god, that would be too much work. Once you make them gay, there's no way back.
That's it. And last one, Mitchell Harrington, $5. Just want to get a couple of people living / from Canada to say, America, fuck yeah. You ready?
America, fuck yeah. We're gonna kick some terrorist ass. America, fuck yeah.
I'll lick my ass and suck on my balls, America. Fuck yeah. Guys, that was an amazing fucking show. I love the last hour with you, man. It's fucking fun. Audience loves it. Yeah. My dad was like, dude, that was like one of the best parts. Fucking fantastic, everyone. And last one, just real fast. Anime the way, haha, $5. So Andy, you think your informed consent is debatable depending on the individual person? Pretty sure that was Amos' main argument. Again, I'm talking about age, not mental capacity. That's my point there. Everyone, thank you so fucking much. And if you're watching, please hit like, share this to people. It's an awesome fucking show. And we have some great shows lined up in the future. I got Peter Sweden, who's a journalist, who left Kilroy. He wants to do a fucking debate versus an atheist. We got a Richard Spencer, some robot scientists. We got space engineers, academia. They all want to be on, dude. It's going to be a fucking ride. I'll let you know after the show who has emailed me. And, dude, you'll be fucking pumped, dude. Guys, thank you so fucking much. Remember, again, hit like, share this. And if you don't like it, well, you can hate watch us. Love you all, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.